I don't play any. I don't play any major artists because that's not what I'm on. For me, it does because that's what I'm here for, basically.
I mean, they already get enough promotion and shit. So.
That's what I say. People don't listen to me though. Play this one, and then once I play these 2 verses, then I'll be able to go ahead and do my show because I still got to upload your music into the player. I already got it. It's just that I have to take it and move it.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go. Turn up.
Of course I will.
I know y'all boys ain't gonna hurt me. Cause I drink champagne when I'm thirsty.
Right,
Mix it with the Henny Black. And I think I'm all that. Shorty ass is real fat. Go ahead, baby, work it. Get it in. Get it in.
That's going. I usually get here, no lie, I usually get here like 4:30, 5 o'clock, way before 5 o'clock. So I'm here for like an hour before my show starts. I got everything done. I done went to
Well, you told us she was running a little late, and I was like, that's crazy because we don't usually ever come early. We're always late.
Right. See, and that's like today was just one of them days. My friend hit me up. We don't get to see each other very often. You know, he got a child and he works, and then you know, so everything's just crazy. So when he said he wanted me to come see him, I was like, damn. I was doing like 80. I think I was doing like 80 getting here. He said, I ain't tell you the speed. I got you. I got time.
I know y'all boys ain't gonna hurt me. Cause I drink champagne when I'm thirsty. Mix it with the Henny Black. And I think I'm all
it's actually pretty out today. It's not cold.
It's not too cold. When we stepped out the car, we was like, oh, it's a little cold. When we stepped out the car.
But the phone.
Yeah, everybody going live. He going Facebook Live and Instagram Live. I'm just Instagram Live, and then we got this on Facebook.
Yeah, and then of course we got the clips right here to hold the phone. That's what. Yeah, so you gotta hold it. Yeah, that one. Well, that one's kind of holding that microphone up.
Yeah.
But that one right there. Yeah. I don't know. Your phone looks kind of heavy.
That's it. That's a trap phone right there. You say it's not, but I swear it's a trap phone.
I mean, you can always, see, you can always get that white box right there and prop it up on there too. Like, you know, put up. I will rig something up in a heartbeat. I'm sorry. I will rig shit up quick. We be in here trying to rig shit up in a heartbeat.
I don't know what it is.
It's your girl Lisa, the Baltimore Paparazzi. It's Hard Body Radio in the spotlight. I'm sorry I'm running a little bit late, but you always know we got technical difficulties. Well, at least my show always has technical difficulties. I don't know about anybody else's. Yeah, so on this beautiful, beautiful Saturday, I got YB from up in PA, came down thanks to Jason. Jason couldn't be here. He had a family emergency. I always try to get Jason to talk. He always think he wants to stand over in the corner and he don't want to talk too much. I met Jason a couple years ago. I was doing a show, showcases called In the Spotlight. Yeah. I have mixtape series called In the Spotlight. Okay. I had the showcases In the Spotlight. Now I have my radio show. It's, you know, it's kind of consistent. So he brought a couple artists down for me and did one of my showcases for me. We just kept in contact over the years. And then when he found out I was doing a radio show, he was like, well, how can I bring my PA? I was like, sure. Yeah. Sure. So, and you know what? And I love it when you guys come down here because it gives me an insight on what's going on up there in PA. Yeah. And it's amazing how what goes on up there is similar to what goes on down here. And that's why I try to get people to understand that the underground scene is basically the same no matter where you go.
Really what changes is the terminology and the slang of it, but a lot of stuff is the same.
You know, y'all still have problems with janky promoters. Yeah. Y'all still have problems with people supporting and you know, like the artist not supporting the whole, you know, because for me, I'm a person that I support the scene as a whole. Now I have my favorites. I have my favorite artists. You know, but I support the scene as a whole. And I started out taking pictures at shows because I didn't know anybody. Yeah. And then that's how I became the Baltimore Paparazzi. I took a picture of an artist. He was across the room. It was his birthday. Took a picture. He was like, "How'd you get that picture?" I was like, "Ha ha." And he was like, "You the damn paparazzi, Lisa." And I started laughing. He was like, no, fuck that. You the Baltimore paparazzi. Yeah. And that just kind of stuck. I like that. So I kind of, you know, I just kind of took that name and I ran with it. I always give Nick Soprano his props. So, you know, so I like it when you guys come down and it kind of, you know, and Jason's never failed me. Every artist he's brought to me has got, like, I'm just listening to the music, I'm like, yo, wow. Yeah. It's you know, I'm like, yeah, I love music. Yeah. So, you know, I was just talking last night to a producer here in Baltimore. Her name is Mistress Beats. And we have this ongoing joke about the cowbell. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you ever seen a skit from Saturday Night Live with Will Ferrell, and it was he was supposed to be part of Blue Oyster Cult, which is a band back in the 70s. Yeah. And it was like, we need more cowbell. So we're always joking about this cowbell. And I was listening to the radio yesterday, and I listened to different stations. And it was a song called Mississippi Queen by a band called Mountain from back in the 70s. And then right in the beginning, you hear the cowbell. And like throughout the song, I can hear, she's like, if you can pick out the cowbell, you can make beats. I was like, oh. I already had an artist named Street Scott. And he just dropped a project called Lovers and Stoners. And he told me, because we were in here, and I'll say things, and they'll be like, that's a bar. Lisa, you probably got bars for days in your head. You got a whole EP. Lisa can, I was like, oh, no, I'm not. So now I'm supposed to be doing an EP, and I'm going to make beats.
You're doing it all. You got the radio show, you're doing everything.
I'm doing everything.
I love it.
So, yeah, if they love it, I love it.
Well, so, I appreciate your time.
I appreciate y'all coming down here, and, you know, because I know that ride. I know that ride. And
the ride was asleep. Yeah, he fell asleep. The ride wasn't that bad, to be honest with you.
It was perfect for him. He was asleep.
Well, he's short. You feel me? I'm 6'7", so I ain't falling asleep in no type of car anytime soon.
Oh, yeah, you going to have issues. You going to be cramped. That's all right. I'm vertically challenged, too. Okay? But guess what? I don't have to duck when I go in the doorways.
That's a fact.
You know.
I got to do it.
I know.
See,
I got to do it.
When I get in the backseat of the car, I can lay across the whole backseat.
See, yeah.
Yeah, he was stretched out.
No.
I couldn't even put my seat all the way back.
See, that's why he comes at you about your height, because he can't do that shit. Yeah. He jealous. Yeah. That's what it is, So introduce yourself.
Oh, me?
Yes.
Well, I'm Czar. I run an entertainment company myself the past 2.5 years right now.
Okay.
So it's basically, we got some of the similarities. It's the same. I kind of made this because I just want, there's a lot of talent in Reading that doesn't get acknowledged.
I'm seeing this. Trust me, over the past couple of months, I'm seeing this.
So it's just like, I built a platform, and that's how I ran into YB. You know what I mean? He came to me, and ever since then, we just been rocking with each other.
Right.
And it's just like, he gave me his support, I gave him my support, and we just been rocking. So we got another show coming up April 21st, the Ultra Showcase, Hip Hop and R&B, hosted by the Ciroc Boys. Shouts out to them, Big H. Also my affiliate, Chaser's View, that's a part of it as well. We all just came collab together, and I'm just building another platform for the talent all over. So it's Reading, but I also got people coming from Delaware. I got people coming from Philly. I got people coming from New York. Everybody's been hitting me up in all aspects. So
and that's like I said, like, you know, my show primarily started out. First of all, at the beginning was people that I knew and that I wanted to interview, because these, like, especially my very first interview was the guy that brought me into all this. Like, I didn't know anything about the scene. The only thing I knew about an underground scene was what I heard on the radio. And, you know, on the radio, if you do hear any local artists, there's only going to be a handful of them. And that's what it was for me. So when I got into the scene and I'm like looking around and I'm hearing the music, and I'm like, you guys need to be on the radio. You guys are better than who's on the radio. I don't even listen to the radio now. Like the only reason why I know like certain artists is because TMZ done talked about them.
Yeah.
Or, you know, my son is 20, so my son is listening to him. My daughter and my son forced Kevin Gates on me. Like I was just so resistant to listening to anybody except for who I wanted to listen to. And the rule is, well, when she had her car, the rule is when I'm in your car, we listen to what you listen to. When you're in my car, we listen to what I listen to. So I get in the car and I have to listen to Kevin Gates. This was a couple years ago. My daughter had been listening to Kevin Gates for way before he was real popular. And so I heard a song and it caught me. And I was like, what the hell did he just say? So me, I'm a lyrics person. I like stories. I like words. Don't just rhyme words because they rhyme together. Rhyme the words because it makes sense. So I went and looked up the words. And because he's got that Louisiana the accent and the slang and everything else, I wasn't understanding when he was rapping. But when I read the words, and he's now like one of my favorite artists.
Okay.
Like he's up there for me with J. Cole. J. Cole was one of my favorite artists because he is a lyricist. He's a wordsmith. I love metaphors. I was listening to one of his songs one day and I'm listening to it and I'm like, and then it hit me. He said this, but he meant this. And I was like, oh, damn. And it was just crazy. So that's, you know, when I listen to music, I'm listening to words. So a lot of times when I'm at these shows and I look like I'm not interested, it's because I'm trying to hear what you're saying. The beat can be fire, but I don't, like, take that beat away. I want to know what you just said. That's why I don't like today's music.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not hating on it. Like at first I was, you know, because it was a big battle of it's not hip hop, it's not hip hop. But I've come to the realization that it is a subgenre off of hip hop, just like with rock and roll, you got the subgenres. Yeah. We got to understand that not everything is under the umbrella of hip hop,
but not everything's going to be lyrical.
Right.
Some stuff is going to be a little less lyrical. And
some of it's going to be Dr. Seuss.
Yep.
So, like, I don't listen to anybody's music, and so we listen to it here.
That's fine.
Because I give my genuine. I mean, even if I did listen to it, I'm going to give you my genuine thought anyway. Yeah. But that's just how I do things. So, how would you classify what music that you do, or is there a classification for it?
I don't know if you could really put a classification. I would definitely say it's hip hop, you know, and it's lyrical and it's just feeling behind it. Obviously, if you hear a record where I'm talking a little tough on it, obviously I was angry when I wrote it. There's songs that I have that is more sad. You know, I have songs where I'm just talking about subconscious and political stuff, and you know, I try to keep it a wide range of things. Yeah. But I grew up in an era where lyrics were everything. Right. You understand? So I make sure that I put my all into my lyrics. Sometimes I feel like I do have to dumb it down just because just to attract a little bit of today's generation, but I don't do it often. I can tell you that. I brought you two songs. I believe one of them's Pull Up and one of them's called Like Me. Yeah. Pull Up, I have a video out too. Like Me, I just shot the video too. And they're both really, Pull Up, I was kind of a little angry when I wrote it. But Like Me. It
sounds like it, because I mean, when I hear somebody say pull up, it's like,
yeah, I'm pulling with somebody. Yeah, I'm pulling with somebody.
I used to be really bad about, I lived in one of the worst neighborhoods in Baltimore when I first moved here in 2003. And only white person in the whole neighborhood. The local drug dealers. My house was empty for a long time before I moved into it. So, of course, that's where they sat. That's where they stashed their drugs. So when I first moved there, I told them, don't sit on my property. Don't sit on my car. I don't care what y'all do out here.
Yeah,
just respect mine. Yeah. They didn't. So we had to butt heads a couple of times. And, I mean, after a couple of times of me having to, you know, do what I had to do, they're my family. Those guys are my family now. They end up moving off to another neighbor. You know, that was their neighborhood though. They actually, a lot of them, their families lived there. You know, they grew up there or whatever. So I understood that. It's just that this is mine. So my attitude has always been, I don't, like, I'm almost, like, I'm fearless. Call it stupid now, but I'm fearless.
Yeah.
And I used to be on social media, and I would tell bitches all the time, here's my address, come see me.
Yeah, yeah. That's when they get quiet.
You know, so basically, like you said, pull up, you know, here my address, come see me. I would tell her, I'm right here on Poplar Grove in Winchester, all day, every day, come on up. Yeah. You know, and so when I hear pull up, I go back to that mentality. You know,
and that's the mind state that I was coming from at the time. I believe at the time I had problems with somebody, and you know, basically that record was me telling them to pull up.
Right.
You know, like me, is more of I wouldn't call it a party record, but the energy on the record is crazy, and it's just me kind of showing off. Like, you know, y'all need to get like me, you know, and y'all need to enjoy life the way that I do. And everything I do, I try to do it like a king. You know, I don't try to settle for anything less than that. So hopefully you enjoy the records, because obviously you're gonna give me a truth about it,
right?
And that's what it is.
So I mean, are you originally from Reading? Because
Yes.
like a couple of people that came through, they weren't from Reading.
No,
or up in
I was
Pennsylvania.
born in St. Joe's Medical Center back when it was on 13th Street in Reading. Yeah, I mean, my pops had moved me out right around high school time because I was getting in trouble and things like that. But yeah, so I did a little time down in Virginia. But I grew up, was soon, you know, raised there. I'm from there. I bleed Reading. I'm not Brooklyn or nothing like that. How a lot of people claim to be when they moved to Reading when they was 3.
Wow.
That's how a lot of motherfuckers is.
Right. So what part of Virginia did he?
We moved to Northern Virginia. It was like Fairfax, Chancery.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I did high
right
school
outside
there.
of like kind of outside like DC. Like
yeah, right outside DC. Right outside DC. It's a very nice neighborhood. It's very high class and high quality and all
and
that.
he thought that was going to like
he thought that was going to change me and help me until he realized, like, yo, you could take the boy out the hood. You ain't going to take the boy.
See, I'm from the Eastern Shore of Maryland, which is like when I say Eastern Shore, there, Ocean City. Salisbury? No, I'm from up in the northern part where there's cornfields. I had a cornfield next to my house for years. The only thing is when I was 17, I graduated high school, and I went out to Ohio, and I was going to college in Ohio. I went for like a semester and a half, but I stayed out there until like the following June. Okay. I came back for 3 weeks, moved to New Jersey. Well, I went to New Jersey for 4th of July weekend, came back Thanksgiving. I came back, stayed around for like a year, drove me. And I ended up moving him down to Virginia with me after I finished school. And we had our daughter, came back up here, had our son.
You just like around here, and a lot of the foundations on the buildings is fucked up, just like around here.
Oh, let me tell you, I need to get up to Reading to some of these shows because I told Jason, but like my show being on Saturday, and then like we only got one car. My daughter works, so we just run in one car. And I'm like, I need to get up there because when I was driving I was going to go get my granddaughter, and when I took her back, I just kept seeing the signs for Reading, and I was like, I get it. Well, I'm supposed to be going. I know.
Let me specifically invite you to our show. What is that, April 21st?
I think
April
I got
21st.
Isn't that like a
April 21st? We got the Ciroc Boys. That all
yeah, that's it. I got a show every Saturday.
Oh man,
every Saturday.
And then we need to come down to one of your shows.
Yeah.
Well, see, I don't even throw shows no more. We just had a show Thursday night, Wisdom Court Entertainment. What I'm trying to do is, my friend Billy Live, he runs Wisdom Court Entertainment, and he's made it to where he's made these connections with different venues, up in PA, out in fucking Milton, PA. 2.5 hour drive from here. Like that seems like the longest fucking drive in the world. It really does. Yeah. But when you get up there, it's always love with people, you know? It's like the drive up and the drive back is like, But he's made, you know, up in New York and New Jersey, and I think Delaware too. So what I'm trying to do is I gave him a connection with Jason so he could try to get some of his artists, you know, that he brings to my show on these shows. Like we just had a show at Auto Bar, which is right down the street. Yeah, right down the street or up the street, whatever it is. And on Thursday, and the Thursday night, it was crowded in there. And the artists that he had were like the artists that, you know, have been like, but he's big about support. So like people be like, how can I get on one of your shows? He's like, well, come out to the show and show some support and come out and politic.
Yeah.
And they never do.
And
then they hit him up again and say, how can I get on one of your shows? It's like,
I already told you.
come out and support. Come out and see how we run things. See how we do things. And, so everybody keeps wanting to know when I'm going to start doing shows again. I just need to find a venue that's not trying to rape my pockets.
And that's the problem with some of these venues. They try to overdo you. And then some of them, what's sadly to say, some of them don't like the hip-hop community.
That's our problem. That's always been our problem here in Baltimore. Always.
That's been our problem in Reading, too.
Well, let me tell you. Okay, there's I don't know if you all know, Soundstage down at Power Plant. Power Plant has got all these different places, these bars. They got Angels Rock Bar, and on the other side of Angels Rock Bar is the country part. And they got a bull back there where you can ride the bull. So Soundstage is where a lot of hip hop shows. I just covered Ja Rule a couple months ago. Ja Rule was there, and Wisdom Court's artist J Money Hackett opened up for him. So J Money had me on his list, so I got, because I don't give a, I love Ja Rule. I don't care. 50 can hate me all his life. 50 don't know me. 50 can hate me all his life, but I love Ja Rule. Okay. So, and then we had the Frozen Harbor Tour, which is a 2-day festival, music festival, 10 stages, over 160 acts on these 2 days.
Wow.
Right. And they start taking like applications, I guess, for the show in September. But Soundstage is where a lot of the hip hop shows that we have, here in Baltimore, since there's a lot of venues that are closed, they're closed up now. I was there when I witnessed this. Police walked up. What's going on here tonight? It was like a hip hop show. Now outside they got it like a corral where you can go and smoke, because you can't smoke inside of Maryland buildings. Yeah. It was like, oh well, everybody, all these people, I gotta go inside because it's a hip hop show. Gotta go inside. Yeah. What the fuck? I ride past the next night, and there's a white audience.
Yeah, and they're all outside.
They're all outside.
Smoking. I bet.
But that, and we've had that same problem where they don't want the hip hop because they don't want that element. But they seem to have more issues and problems when they have the rave parties. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm just not understanding their logic. Well, I never have.
For years, hip hop has always gotten a bad rap. Period. No
because of the lyrics and the content.
But I seen the other day on Fox News them ripping Common apart. Common is a conscious rapper.
Right.
Ripping him apart. This thug gangster rapper. We talking about Common.
I mean, I'm sure he can he's from Chicago. I'm sure he can get thug. But I have never seen him get out of character. Exactly. I've never seen him on TMZ getting out of character. Exactly. I've never seen him on anything,
you know. Like I said, that is strictly, just the bad hip hop stigma that we have, where you could be, like I said, you could be an artist like J. Cole, Common, that doesn't have those type of lyrics, and you're still going to have that stigma because you're a hip hop artist.
Right. And I don't know what's ever, I think that there's just so many closed-minded people. Yeah. And like I said, we used to have numerous venues to perform at. There was there was something going on all the time in the underground hip-hop scene. There was always shows going on. There was always something going on. And then slowly but surely, the city's closing down the venues. They're revoking liquor license. 5 Seasons is where I held my show at. And 5 Seasons for me was that was the mecca for hip hop here in Baltimore. Mm. It's not my very first venue I went to for my very first show, but for me, that's where when I walked in there, I could just I just felt at home. So what had happened there was somebody threw a free show. It was free to get in. Mm. And there was a guy, he had just gotten home. He just came home probably a couple weeks before the show. And he was there, and he was up on stage with whoever he was there with, and he was rapping or whatever. and somebody was there that didn't like him from the streets, and they said there was like 10 people left in the building. There was hardly anybody in the building. They jumped him in the bathroom, stomped him, beat him up. He was alive when he left the building. When the ambulance came and got him, he was alive. He ended up dying at the hospital.
So
what they did was the owner didn't tell us that he had to go before the liquor board. He didn't tell us. If he had told us, I think things would probably turn around a little bit different. Police got up there and lied, said they always had to be there at the venue because there was always fights. It was always, but I've never been. The only fight I've ever seen was when girls would fight. You know, one girl would throw a drink in another girl's face and they would be pulling hair or whatever. But I've never seen the dudes fight. Not in the building. So, you know, they just did not want that quote-unquote element. So what are you supposed to do when you got people who, you know, there's nothing to do? It's almost like kids.
Yeah,
you know, there's nothing to do. You know, it's like that halfway house that they want to put on your block, but nobody on the block wants a halfway house because we don't want it in our neighborhood. So where is it supposed to go? In somebody else's neighborhood. Let it be their problem. So hip hop to me, like, there's too many people in this city for us not to have places to have hip hop shows. You know what I mean? And I've never witnessed, I've witnessed stuff, like I've seen it later, but me being at a show, I've never seen anybody like go at like full on brawl.
Yeah,
you know,
none of my shows, nobody has ever won full on brawl.
It's because of the respect that they have for the person that is throwing the show.
Yeah.
And that's like with me, they know not to go up against me because I'm not playing. I don't play those games. I'm older than most everybody that's in this scene. There's only maybe a couple people who are older than me, and that's because they're older than me by 6 months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're, you know, so everybody calls me Mama Lisa. You know, when they see me, Mama Lisa, Mama Lisa, Mama Lisa. You know, I didn't have a ride to the show Thursday because my daughter had my car. So one of the guys was like, I'm going to pick you up when I get off of work. And so somebody come on my post and was like, I guess I'm late. He was like, oh, we don't play about Lisa. It's the respect that you have.
Yeah.
You know, so back on track. But when was the first time like you realized that you wanted to rap? Like when, you know?
Well, when I was in high school, I would always, you know, write rhymes a little bit, but my pops was really against it. He really didn't get into it until he actually started hearing my music. But right around when I was 18, I want to say, I had moved back to Reading from Virginia. And I had met this dude, and I can't, for the life of me, I can't remember his name, but he had a studio in his little apartment. And he went in there, and I remember the first time he had the mic hanging from a pole in a closet. And me being such a newbie and not knowing anything, I grabbed the mic and started rapping it to him. And he's like, whoa, back down. You know what I mean? But that first song that I did, it was with my man Craig, shout out to him. And, you know, ever since then, like just the adrenaline it gave me, the nervousness of, you know what I mean? I don't really get the much nervousness anymore, but just the adrenaline it gave me of making a song and then hearing my song come through them speakers and people being able to recite something that you have written. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, because the engineer's there and he's, you know, bobbing his head and he's reciting my lyrics and I'm like, I wrote that. You know,
right.
that came from me. That came from my mind. And you're sitting there and you're repeating the same thing. That's when I really fell in love with it. That's when I was like, you know, I could do this forever. And I've been doing it for a while now. You know.
So who was the I hate to say the influence, but that's basically who it is. Who was the first, like that first influence that you had?
Well, I think my first major influence, if you want to talk about you know, famous people, I would have to say Hov was Jay-Z because he dropped Blueprint on my birthday, September 11th. And I had this little orange CD player that I would play this CD over and over and over and over again on the
How many times did you have to buy that CD?
I remember I let somebody borrow it. I had to buy it again. And then eventually it got scratched, you know, from playing it over and over and over. And I bought it again. And then I said, fuck this, I'm going to save it on my computer. And that's when burning CDs was popping. Right. But I'd say Hov was my major influence, you know. But, you know, there's a ton of artists, you know, like 50, J. Cole and things like that and people like that. But the main person that next to me not famous or anything, was my man Raw Ye. He's the one who pushed me and was like, yo, you can really do this. You know, the shit that you say is ridiculous. So you can really, really do this. And shout out to him. He just did a 5-year stretch. He just came home back in December. So, but he was a big influence.
So Pops didn't want you to.
Nah, he really didn't want me to do it. I guess he wanted me to focus more on being a productive member of society, I guess.
So what plans did he have for you? I mean,
my dad had a ton of plans for me. I really think at the end of the day, my dad just wanted me to be better than him.
Well, I mean, that's what any parent wants for their child,
exactly.
But at the same time,
my dad was someone who was making 6 figures a year, you know, doing AAC, like doing blueprints for the AC and schools and stuff like that. And you know, my thing is, I never could see me working in the office or anything like that. You know,
right.
I my mentality has always been the hustle and the grind. So, you know, when me and him butt heads right around when I was like 17, 18, you know, I moved back to Reading and I started trapping, you know, and I started, you know, selling drugs and going down the wrong path. And it disappointed him. It really did. But we didn't really reconnect until I caught my charges. Once I caught my charges, you know, I reached out to him and he helped me out and said, look, I'm not disappointed. You know, I want you out of jail, you know, come home safe. And that made me change my life around and really focus more on the music than anything.
Right. Because, on Netflix, they've got this documentary series called Rapture.
Yeah.
And I just watched 2 episodes today. And the first one was Logic, which I didn't know that Logic was from right down the road in Montgomery County, Maryland. And like I actually I went and listened to his project called Everybody, and I was like, okay, because I know who Logic was because I'm a Tech 9 fan, so I heard him on one of Tech's songs, and you know, I've heard his name over the years, but like I hear a lot of people's names, and I just don't go listen to the music, or I might hear it by accident. I don't have the time. Like, I don't have the time to be listening to everybody. And then the second one was Nas and Dave East. And when you said that, it reminded me of Dave East when they did the interview with Dave East, because I have friends down here in Baltimore that used to hang out with Dave East when he was down here in Baltimore. And he used to come to the house. And my best friend, she was like, I don't remember him coming to the house because I think I would remember him coming to the house. It was like, that's before he had all the tattoos and everything.
Yeah.
So hearing him, they interviewed his father. And his father is like, they pushed him to be a basketball player. That's why I was saying, like, what was his goal for you?
My dad wanted me to play basketball, be a doctor, a lawyer, anything. But when he you know, would see my little raps and stuff like that in my book bag, he wanted me to focus more on school. Because, you know, I was always getting in trouble in school and I didn't have the best grades ever. But, you know, for him to see that and not my homework in my book bag, it was upsetting, you know.
Well, I mean, and I just, like, you know, and that's why, like, I've had a lot of people come through here, and some of them will say, like, my mom, like, my friend Lyrics, he said, my mom is like, she got my back. Like, she was like, all right, this is what you want to do? Yeah. All right, well then let's do it, you know? So she was like, she spotted on that, okay, well, if he does this, then maybe he'll stay out of them streets, you know? So that, I guess that was like, cause you know, here in Baltimore, there's not really much for, you know, a young black man to do in this, you know, who wants to go work? I don't want to work at no damn McDonald's. You know, I refuse to work at McDonald's. My mother tried to get me to work at McDonald's for years because she worked at McDonald's, you know, part-time. I'm like, I can't do that. My attitude won't allow me. I'll be fired the first day. And, you know, so, you know, and the whole, you know, I understand like what your father's saying about wanting you to do, because I wanted my kids to do better than what I did. You know, and my daughter, she's getting there. She's got 2 kids now. You know, but she's got a job. She's trying to get a second job. Like, she's trying to do, because she wants to save money, because she wants to get out from my house. And I want them to get out. You know, I want them out. But I'm not kicking my kids out because I know they ain't got nowhere to go. Well,
the crazy thing is, my dad is the biggest hip hop fan. I mean, like, he put me on the Public Enemy, you know, Snoop Dogg, G-Funk era, and all that. And he's the biggest hip hop fan, so I don't really think it was much more of just, oh, I don't want you to be a rapper. He just didn't encourage it in my early stages. Now, me and my dad have a great relationship.
Because he sees that, you know, it wasn't just a hobby.
Yeah, I've been doing this for years. When I told my dad that I was coming down here for Hard Body Radio, he's excited about it. So every move I call my dad and I let him know because he's down in Florida. But I let him know, and he's like, "Wow, son, I'm proud of you." When I told him, I'm like, "Look, I just finished my first project. It's about to be done. Oh man, how can I hear it?" He's excited about it now. Back then, not so much.
Right.
But that I think that's really any parent because I don't think I have a son. I don't think I want my son to be a rapper. I want him to be a doctor, lawyer, NBA player.
Right. That's like my son. My son was like, because when I go to events and stuff, and if my son would come with me. Like, my kids have grown up in this scene. Yeah. And so a lot of the artists know my kids. My kids know their music, and everything. So they were like, "So you want to start rapping?" I was like, "No." He was like, "Ma, but my daughter can write. Yeah. Now, she will never get on stage." We were just talking about this yesterday and today. She will never get on that stage. Yeah. But she can write her ass off. Yeah. She can write lyrics. Yeah. So I told her, I said, you need to start writing your stuff, getting your publishing, and sell your damn music.
Yeah. Get your business right.
So, I encourage my kids. I want them to do better. I didn't do too shabby. Like I said, I went to college for a semester and a half. But I went to Job Corps. I had already had my diploma from high school. I graduated. Went to Job Corps and I got a certificate in general business with marketing and advertising from a college. I got my business and clerical diploma from them. I went to another school for, at that time it was called police science. I went to Sojourner Douglas here in Baltimore for criminal justice. I'm not a dummy. Not a dummy by any means. I just play dumb.
Sometimes it's the smartest thing to do, though.
Right. So, I want my kids to do better. I'm blessed to say that my kids have never had to, they've never had to sell drugs. Yeah. When I see people that, because I have friends that sell drugs, and they did sell drugs, they still do, but it's because they're the money for their family. Yeah. I know kids that are out here on this corner because they just try and get some tennis shoe money because they think it's cool that they sell drugs. Is that mentality? Yeah. That's stupid to me. Yeah. Especially when you're working for somebody else and you're not even getting tennis shoe money. Yeah. So, I'm just lucky enough that my kids never had to go that route. My kids are not part of any gangs and not, my son got caught in a stolen car. He didn't steal it. Yeah. His homeboy stole it. They was riding in it. Instead of fighting it, my son was like, I was in the car. That's it. I was there. I said it. I'm there. I just want this shit over with. Yeah. So he got, juvenile. He got that on his record. My daughter, as much as she likes to fight, she never charged. But, so that's all I can ask for. You know what I mean? Yeah. So your father, that's what he wanted for you. And then he was like, okay, he's not giving this shit up.
Yeah. And really what it was is, my pops knew I had to learn the hard way. Because when I finally did, when I was selling drugs and I finally did get caught up, I caught 3 felonies at once.
Oh, you just said, fuck it, I'm just going to go big.
So I learned my lesson, and one of the major lessons was that my son was born while I was in jail. I was there through the whole pregnancy, and they raided my house on September 4th. My son was born on September 10th.
He was born a day before your birthday?
Yeah, a day before my birthday.
Wow.
So, they literally raided my house a week before he was born, and it was heartbreaking because because I grew up with my father and only my father. I didn't grow up with my mother like that. Yeah. It was a big part to not be a bum father. You know what I mean? So it's like to miss my son's birth. That was all I needed to really focus on something else and stop selling coke and doing all that good shit.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, and because I know, like, I sit back and look at some of the dumb shit that I've done in my lifetime and go, if I hadn't done that.
Yeah. Everybody in the point in life does that.
Well, I try to run over my children's father 5 times in one day with my car.
Hey, it happens.
Wow.
People, sometimes it happens.
That was before we had kids. I did.
That's just like a song.
Right, but my adopted father was like my adopted father, who was actually my my children's father's uncle, because his family had like kind of took me in, because my family disowned me because my kids are biracial. Okay. So they disowned me because I was with a black man. My mother told me that I was doing it on purpose. I was like, oh, I fell in love with a man who loves me regardless of what I look like.
Yeah.
Okay, but I never had figured that one out. But so we actually, like I said, my children's father and I, we haven't been together since my son was almost 2. He's 20 now, and but we're still family. So it was one summer sitting back there at my adopted father's, and some of the cousins and all were standing around, and Pop goes, "Hey, y'all remember that day Lisa tried to run over Daryl?" I was like, "Pop, shut up." He's like, he said if he hadn't hit that ditch, she would have had his ass. He was on a bicycle. I was like, you know what?
You wasn't trying to just run him over. You were trying to murder him.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah.
I can't have you. Nobody can.
No, he was one of those men that just twisted my mind, cause but but he's still like, I have a lot of love for him because we do have 2 children together. His oldest 2 kids are like my kids, like their mother, like her kids call me mom, my kids call her mom. Like we're really like, people are like, I can't believe that you all get along. I'm like, why wouldn't we? We've got kids together. We have grandkids now. We just found out that my children's father's got cancer. So it's been a whole big thing with us, trying to figure out what he's going to, where, what's going on. And, so, a lot, like, that's why I can't understand how a mother will deprive her children of their father. Like, I couldn't stand his ass. But you want these kids? You can have them anytime the hell you want them. Give me a damn break for once. Take them. So he would get him every other weekend. That was our agreement. You get him every other weekend. My son would go down there for the summertime. So I don't like you said, like that not being able to be there. So I can't understand how like a mother can like deprive her child of being with their father. Now if he's a total complete fuck up, I understand. But I have a lot of really good fathers as friends that are fighting to be able to see their kids. They're fighting to be able to do things with their children. So, and then they're trying to do this hip hop thing too. And,
it's hard to balance everything.
Then you got, like, I don't know if you've experienced this, but you probably have, because most anybody who raps, who does music has experienced this. Why you gotta go to this show? Yeah. Why you gotta be at the studio all the time?
Well, really, the one good thing is, me and my baby mother, we were best friends for a long time before we actually had the baby. So, doing music was before,
right.
Really for the challenge for me was when I was putting out a ton of music and having a shitload of money. I was trapping and I could write at 16, write whenever I wanted to. Now
right.
I'm a working man. You know what I mean? So, and I'm making a lot less than when I was selling coke.
Right.
So it's like that balance was more difficult. It took me a little bit, about a year to figure out, to get on a routine where it's like, okay, I'll go work 8 hours. After I come home from work, I'm gonna write something. I'll go to sleep. I'll eat something. I'll go to sleep. I'll wake up. I'll write a little, maybe like 6, 7, 8 bars, and then go to work. You know what I mean? And then come back and finish the verse and write a hook. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was more balanced. Whereas before it was just like, okay, whenever I'm feeling inspired, I'll smoke a little weed and that's it. You know what I mean?
Right. Like life changed for you drastically.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. So I mean, it's like I said, like I hear a lot of different stories from a lot of different artists, but it always seems like everybody's got basically the same story.
It's a grind. It's a grind.
I was talking about before we started the show, I'm going to Michigan to go see Gates. And who I'm going with is an artist named Baltimore Big Steve. And I've gone to Houston and New Orleans with him, taking pictures, and actually shot damn video for. I don't shoot videos, but somehow I got suckered into shooting a video for a song with him and Fat Boy DZ, who lives in Houston. And Steve is one of those people that he just grinds, he just goes, and he just does and does and does and does. And I see the potential in him, and I see his work ethic. So anything he needs me to do, I'm there. And like I said, he took me to Houston and New Orleans. I met David Banner because I was in New Orleans. You know, I got to hug David Banner. You don't know how happy I was about that. That man, I could sit there like this.
Just dream about him.
And just sit there and listen to him talk. I could just sit there and just look at him and just listen to him talk for hours. Because he's just one of those people. I've been following him since Cadillacs on 22s.
Yeah.
You know, when he, you know, people didn't really know who he was. And he's just one of those people. And, you know, because Steve has taken me along, you know, I'm taking pictures. I'm working, taking pictures. I'm recording video, you know, doing promo and everything. Play his music on my radio show. So we're going up to see Gates. He was, you know, and he's like one of my kids. I swear to God, he's just one of my kids. I have lots of kids in this hip hop scene. Lots of them. Didn't know. I don't know how I gave birth to all these kids that are only like a few years younger than me. But there's a lot of them.
That's what's up.
But, yeah. So I'm going to play one of these songs real quick. This is 7 o'clock. Play a song. Which one you want me to play?
Let's play Like Me first.
Okay. What I'll do is I'll play Like Me, and then we'll come back and talk some more. I'll think of some more questions, because, you know, I don't write questions down. I don't. We just, it's not even an interview anymore. This is a conversation between friends.
Yes,
That's what I call it.
I love it.
So, Hard Body Radio in the spotlight. Your girl Lisa, the Baltimore Paparazzi, and this is YB. YB Like Me. That's a good one. Yeah. See, I got bars. All right, we'll be right back. I got issues. Yeah, just the look on his face when I said that was I did try to run him over 5 times in one
Y'all
day.
ain't gotta like me, cause y'all ain't gotta like me. I mean, y'all ain't not like me. YB, yeah, y'all niggas in trouble now. I doubled up when I doubled down. Coming up, they didn't come around. Now they're running up, trying to cut me down. It's funny how with my money power, I get a funny vibe from they funny smile.
Culture's gonna be dark in here for too long.
Me down. Same ones wanna fuck me now. Nice guy, but I'm still a threat. No time, cause I chase a check. I'm in love with a silhouette. I took a pic and showed the internet. I'm a savage nigga, you're an average nigga. I'm a real one, you just a rapping nigga. All my life I was a trapping nigga. I can get what you get for a fraction nigga. No stops for no cops. No snitching when you know a lot. Know this, I'm on top. Here's a know this in case y'all forgot. Okay, y'all ain't gotta like me, cause y'all ain't gotta like me. Y'all ain't gotta like me. YB. Y'all ain't gotta like me, cause y'all ain't gotta like me. Y'all ain't gotta like me. YB. I met a couple niggas, they was all screaming gang, and I thought they had my back, so I would always scream the same. Man, it's funny how this money make a motherfucker change. Now it's all about me, yeah, it's all about me. And I'm all about my seed, and I'm all about my weed, and I'm all about my money, cause ain't shit for free, and that's including me. If I don't know you, I'm charging heavily. I done told you y'all late for me. I suppose you could work for me. That might work for me. Y'all life work for me. My knife work for me. What's your life worth to me? Shit, what's my life worth to you? Some things you just can't do. Some things you just can't see. And that's including me. YB. Y'all niggas fucking with the wrong one. Small number, but I keep a long gun. You can find out when the song's done. You can find out when the song's done. YB ain't nothing to fuck with. You fuck boys always doing that fuck shit. You only authentic as the niggas you broke with. So be mindful of the niggas you come with. Y'all ain't gotta like me, cause y'all ain't gotta like me. Y'all ain't gotta like me. YB. Y'all ain't gotta like me, cause y'all ain't gotta like me. Y'all ain't gotta like me. YB. I met a couple niggas, they was all screaming gang, and I thought they had my back, so I would always scream the same. Man, it's funny how this money make a motherfucker change. Now it's all about me, yeah, it's all about me.
In the spotlight with your girl Lisa, the Baltimore Paparazzi, Hard Body Radio. That was Like Me by YB. See, it rhymes. I meant to do that on purpose. No. But, I'll get right to say. I made a post the other because I have people on my Facebook page that when I see them out in person, they don't speak to me.
Yeah.
So I made a post. Why are you my Facebook friend? Like why? Are we...
I mean, look, it might be a little awkward though.
No, it's not because you're an artist and I'm
no. If you're an artist, but if it's just a random person.
Oh no, this is the art. This is artist.
All right.
So like a lot of my friends and all, like I did somebody's wedding a couple years ago, and her and her husband are no longer together. Yeah. But she, she was like, even though things didn't work out between me and my husband. But some of the answers that I got on here is just crazy. But like there's like one particular person. I was at a show and like we were this close,
and they ain't say nothing to you.
They just looked at me. It was like, well, maybe he was afraid to come. Who was afraid to come up to me? Like, I'm taking pictures of you on that stage.
I mean, but see, that's the thing. Some people aren't as, got hospitality like that. Some people are scared to say that. Yeah, you're in the wrong industry. You're absolutely right. But some people just ain't built like that.
I don't know. They need to get like you. See? 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 Yeah. This is gonna be one of them interviews. You be like, yo. We talk about this shit years from now. Be like, you remember that time we went down to Baltimore? What was that crazy girl name? But yeah, so I like that. That was like, I was over here listening. Okay. Yeah.
I wanted to put some good energy into it, and I felt like I accomplished that.
Yeah, you did. I like this. Like the beat wasn't overly. Yeah. Like I hate beats that are just like they just too much going on.
It takes out the voice of the artist.
Right.
I'm getting sick of trap. Honestly,
I think everybody's getting sick and tired of trap.
Yeah.
That's why I'm patiently waiting.
And shouts out to 2MP too.
Yeah, shouts to him too.
Who was that?
2MP is my producer.
Oh, okay.
He's my engineer. He's the #1 engineer in the fucking world to me. I'm sure there's a lot of people that debate that, but he's my motherfucking engineer. And, I've been working with him for 5-6 years now, and he's the reason why I sound so clear and so crisp on the mic.
Right. Yeah.
But, yeah, a lot of the music now, and what I'm starting to see right now with a lot of artists, is the fact that some are now trying to think that it's okay to start mumble rapping. The shit's annoying.
Well, I had this discussion with my friend Block Hugger. Hugger, when I first came in the scene, Hugger and it was called First Fam, and they still even now, even though they really don't rap, because they're older now, they got families, they got work and shit, but they still nice on that mic. Hugger's son was just performing Thursday night, and I was in the car with him, and he was letting me listen to some of the music from his son, and I looked at him and I said, yo, he is in his own lane. Like, he is really seriously in his own lane. He's got that youth, like the music that's playing, that all the kids like now.
Yeah.
But he's got that influence from his dad and all his uncles. So his lyrics... so he's got that balance, and he's doing it. He's not like he does to me. He doesn't sound like anybody else. Like, I really don't listen to, like, everybody say, I keep talking about that little Skittles boy. I call him Skittles boy because he looked like a fucking bag of Skittles.
Tekashi.
Yeah. Did you see Gary Owens' interview on Breakfast Club?
Yeah, that was probably the funniest shit I've seen in a long time.
That was the most funniest interview.
That shit was hilarious.
It just proves everybody's point of what kind of artist he is.
But see, everyone's like, oh, his music, his this. I can't get past his face. I can't get past his gimmick.
I can't get past the child molestation charge.
His gimmick. I mean,
I think what it is with him is it's more to say he's more the younger generation style. He's more of a hype person,
right?
And actually listening to his music, he repeats the same shit over and over and over. It's like you're waiting for the bar to come, but it's not a bar. It's the same shit he's repeating over and over. And then he's hype on every track. So that's what gets this younger generation hype in his music. That's because a lot of them are they're led babies. They got ADD and ADHD. That's the only thing I can think of, because like
maybe it's because I'm older. I can't like be turned up all the time. I'm sorry. Let me catch a breath. Let me catch my breath. Okay.
Well, here's the thing. Like there were artists, you know, back in the day that were hype all the time. You know, like DMX. You know, he had that aggression and he got you hype. Granted, DMX did have some, you know,
mellow songs
and mellow songs, but you know that's really my closest comparison. My problem is when DMX rapped, I believed him.
Right.
I believed every word he fucking said, and
he told a story when he rapped.
Yeah, there was artistic value to it. I'm sorry, I don't believe a bag of Skittles yelling at me talking about he gonna pull up with the stiffy. I'm sorry, I just don't believe that shit.
Even DMX with "Make Me Lose My Mind" up in here.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like. You know, and everybody like, I still to this, I like Joe Budden. I don't give a fuck what nobody said. I like Joe Budden as a person. I liked him as an artist.
And you know what? A lot of people try to say he can't rap, but if you actually listen to his music, if you actually sit back and listen to his music, his lyrics,
did they not hear his mixtapes and shit? Did they not listen?
Gosh. Not even that. His albums be crazy.
Right. So I mean, like when I was talking about like the mumble rap. Well, what about DOS Effects? What about DOS Effects? DOS Effects had a couple songs, which I liked because they were so different. But where's DOS Effects now?
Yeah, exactly.
It's one-hit wonders.
Well, to me, it's not so much the mumbling, you know, because really, I can only name a handful of quote-unquote mumble rappers. I think it's the copying of the same flow. Da 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 da. Yeah. Da 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 da. Yeah. That irks me more than anything else. And a lot of the new artists, the younger artists coming out of Reading right now, they're on that. And it's like, you know, you can only flip that flow so many ways. You know what I mean? Like it's not so much really the mumbling that, because honestly, even when you break down an artist like a Designer, you know, he mumbled the shit out of Panda. You know, but when you actually read the lyrics, it's like, okay, it's all right.
You just can't hear the lyrics.
But you can't really hear them. But, you know, to me, like I said, it's the flow more than anything. It's the that shit hurts my soul.
Well, I mean, my thing, and I've always said this, and why would anybody, like okay, Future, like that whole, like how he raps, why would you want to rap just like Future when we already have a Future?
It's just because people are trying to get the little bit of money that Future ain't getting. That's all it is.
But you know, I've never been able to understand that. Like to me, like I said, marketing and advertising, I did take a couple little courses in that, and you have to come with something different.
The thing is, Reading has a huge hip hop scene, okay? And when I was coming up, as far as, you know, like not really quite in there yet, but I was just listening to people like Echo, Skyline, Spesh, they all sounded different to me. Now a lot of the young guys coming into the game, they all sound the same to me. Right. And it's because of that flow that I'm talking about.
That's like if I had their music and I put something on, it would probably be hard for you to say, well, that's so and so.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas back you know, growing up, and still to this day, if you put on Echo, if you put on Skyline, if you put on Spesh, or you know, you put on any of these artists, I'm gonna know exactly who they are. As soon as you play, it could be some shit that I've never heard, but their voice, their flow, I know who they are. They have their own style. Right. Whereas, like I said, these young guys, they don't really have their own style. It's all the Migos style.
Right. See, and there's an artist here in Baltimore. His name is K-Mac, and he's been doing this since the 90s. Like, he was with the Annex Clique. And if I was to put on one of his songs, you would think it was Jada. Okay. Because he sounds like Jada. He's not trying to.
Yeah, but that's just...
And that's like my man Paco, rest in peace. He was shot and killed a couple months ago. And Paco looked just like Pop.
Oh, really?
Sounded like Pop. Wow. Like, he looked so much like Pop that they were going to put him in that movie to be Pop.
Oh, wow.
And it was no longer in Tupac's mom's hands when they were getting ready to make that movie. It got taken from her, and they did what they wanted to do. Yeah. But he looked so much like, he sounded like, but he wasn't trying to. So it's a difference when you're trying to sound like you know, what's on the radio. And that's what I've seen, like a lot of these youngers. Yeah. And I understand that they're influenced when they first start rapping because, okay, y'all gonna laugh because I say this, and every time I say this, everybody laughs. You cannot throw a stone without hitting somebody who raps. Yeah, it's true. It's true. You throw a rock and you gonna hit somebody, oh, I rap. Yeah. You know, because everybody raps now. They don't do it well, but everybody raps. Yeah. So when you first started out, like me, I started out with Rapper's Delight, of course. I'm that old. And Lottie Dottie was one of my favorite songs. So much so that I had the tape recorder, that I recorded it off the radio and played it and was writing down the words to Lottie Dottie. So I knew I could recite the words to Lottie Dottie. So when I was rapping that, I sound just like that, you know, because I'm rapping that song. I can't rap to save my soul. I can't sing. I can't do none of that shit. But I'm saying if that was the route I was going to go, then I would sound like whoever I'm emulating. One thing I don't like is I have this distaste for mixtapes. Not so much, let me clear this up. I have a distaste for people who do industry beats like 20 mixtapes. 20 mixtapes.
Yeah, I understand that.
You do the industry beats, a couple, maybe even a couple CDs or whatever, because you want to get your name out there. You want to get that. You want to get your practice. Yeah. But when you do an industry beat, I need you to not sound like
the person who did it. Yeah.
Right. You gotta make it. You gotta twist it and make it your own.
Well, my rule is if you do, very seldom do I do industry beats. You know, starting off I did them, but I like to make songs. Honestly, I like to make songs. I feel like I'm a songwriter, and I feel like if I can't do better than the person that originally did it, I'm not gonna touch it.
Right.
So me personally, I'm not gonna touch an Eminem track because I don't feel like I could out rap him on his own track.
Yo, let me tell you. M is one of my favorite. He's one of my favorite. Like, I have a lot of different, like, when people say, well, who's your favorite? I was like, I can't tell you. But I like to ask people that question because I like to see those wheels turn. And most time when I ask people, it's usually, because they're a younger age. Well, everybody's younger than me. But, like, I like to see where their head is as far as music-wise. Like, you know, when I ask somebody who's their, favorite all-time rapper, and they tell me, you know, Lil Wayne, and I'm like,
so you grew up
which
in an era.
Which Lil Wayne? Which Lil Wayne? This one or this one?
Yeah.
You know, because there is two totally different Lil Waynes.
You can probably see, you can argue that there's three.
Yeah.
Block is hot.
Yeah.
And then when he was the greatest rapper alive, and then now.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, but he looks bad. Turk be posting pictures of fuck, because you know they're doing a reunion, Hot Boys, and my man Steve has done a song with Turk, and he's friends with BG's mom, and you know, so we're waiting for BG to come home.
Yeah.
So because I'm trying to get that interview. I'm getting ready to write his ass because I got his ass. I post up every Friday is Free BG Day on Instagram, and it's got his address because he's right up in PA.
Okay.
And yeah, he's in Lewisburg, I think it is.
Lewisburg.
I don't know where it's at. I gotta look it up. I think it's Lewisburg. I gotta look it up. Somebody just what the hell? But they be posting up that they're doing a Hot Boys, you know. So he's been shouting out baby and shit lately, and like he'll post a picture of Lil Wayne. I'll be like, man, Wayne, where it has been. But like I like to know where people's heads are when it comes to music, because even before listening to their music, I just like if you tell me, you know, Biggie and Pac, and I'm like, okay, you're in that era of lyrics telling stories and stuff like that, you know. So that's why, you know, when you said Hov, I was like, oh, okay, all right, I see where you at right there, because even to this day, like Jay-Z does not have to ever rap again in life, ever.
But I believe that he has a passion for it and
right.
always will.
Right.
It's like he really doesn't have nothing more to prove, but every time, it's like when he dropped 40-40. 444.
Whatever it is, 444, whatever.
You know what I'm saying? It was like he's like...
And
you have nothing to prove no more.
Have you guys listened to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is your opinion on that? I listened to it in the car, but I really wasn't listening to it. But I'm seeing a lot of different people's opinions, and I have my own opinion.
Here's my thing, all right, and here's my thing with Hov. With each album, you could tell Hov was in a different place in his life. Every single album, from Reasonable Doubt to Volume 2 to Volume 3, he was in a different, and not only that, but hip hop was in a different place. You understand? So when hip hop turned to the gangster rap, that's what he was on. He was gangster rapping, and then once he got a little bit older and outgrew that, and outgrew Rockefeller, and he gave us the Black Album, he was a completely different artist. So my thing with Hov, especially with the 444 album, I think he was trying to inspire people, and honestly I think that's what he did. Because when like you said, I feel like a lot of the newer people coming in the game can't rap. A lot of the rappers can't rap.
Right.
You have one job, rap. You can't do it. Right. And and he really kind of lit a fire. Now a lot of people, maybe people that are younger than me will say that it's old man rap. I don't think it's old man rap. I think it's intelligent rap. I think it's rap for people who might read a fucking book every now and then. Right. And I don't know. I personally, I enjoyed it. Do I think it's his best album? No. You know what I mean? Really, I think Blueprint and Volume 3 might take the cake on that. But like I said, I enjoyed it, and for what it was great. I don't see why. I seen a lot of people when it first dropped. A lot of people hated on it and called it old man rap and stuff like that. If it's old man rap, I guess I'm an old fucking man. Right. So I enjoyed it.
But you got people that's still in their prime, that's around his age, that can't do nothing no more. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That can't do nothing no more. He's proven that, even though I'm still old as shit, I still got it. Right. I still got it. I could drop this and I'll get a million views in one day. I really believe that he was damned if he did and damned if he didn't. Mm-hmm. If he went the route of still talking about being out in the streets or whatever, whatever the case may be, everybody be like, man, you ain't doing none of that. So it was damned if he did or damned if he didn't. Me personally, I applaud him for doing what he did, for making the songs that he did, for trying to educate people, because that's where he is in his life, just like you said. Eminem, that's another one. When he dropped his, I heard a lot of people say, oh, that sucks, this, that, and the third.
Here's my take on the last Eminem album. It wasn't a hip-hop album. Right. I think he rapped his ass off on the album. I don't think it was a hip-hop album.
What he did was, he went outside of what he normally does, and he was proving like he did it. Basically, I think he did it for himself.
Yeah, honestly, to me, it sounded like beats that he reminded him of stuff that he grew up on. Mm-hmm. Eminem's a white guy. Right. He grew up in a white household. This is the type of shit that they would have listened to. Right. Like I said, I don't think it was a hip hop album. I love Eminem. I love a good chunk of his albums. I think, honestly, I don't even think the last one that dropped was his worst one. I think Encore was his worst album.
I heard that. Yeah, everybody say that too.
I think Encore, me personally, that was his worst album. But, you can't hate a man for doing music that he likes.
See, and my thing was, and for me, what pissed me off basically was these people that were saying the negative things about Eminem and Jay-Z's album are the same ones that are sitting here telling me, well, hip-hop's got to change, it's got to evolve, it's got to do this, it's got to do that, but this shit can't stay the same, but you wanted them to stay the same. Yeah. You can't have both. No. You either shit's got to evolve and move forward and everything else. Just because the Locks, when they perform, it's the same as when they performed back in the 90s and early 2000s. Because that's where they're at, and they know that their fans love that, and that's what they do.
Yeah, but in the same breath, I don't think the Locks will ever be bigger than they are.
As
much as I love the Locks, they'll never. And they've had their superstardom and stuff like that, but they'll never be because they never change, which is fine because they have that loyal cult fan base.
Oh yeah, trust me, they
a lot of people chase. They have that cult fan base that a lot of people chase. But if they did switch it up and they did try to do something different, they will lose a lot of fans.
Yep.
Yeah.
They make those
Yep.
stuff.
And that's what I like. And that's why I said with Jay-Z and Eminem, if they, you know, the way that they did their projects, a lot of people understood. But a lot of people, well, I just don't, you know, he's talking about this and he's talking about that. Well, what did you want him to talk about? Do you want to talk about him being in Marcy Projects? He's not in Marcy Projects no more.
And he hasn't been in years.
He's in $1 billion mansions and shit. He got a wife and 3 kids. You know, so you want him to stay the same, but you want hip hop to evolve. Yeah. You know, like I said, I can't listen to you know, everybody's like, oh, you got to listen to Migos. Migos. I'm like, are you listening to them or you just because me, when I hear the music, the beats is what gets me.
Yeah.
So shout out to the producers.
Yeah.
You know, but I can't understand nothing that you're saying. Like I just don't. And it's some of it's so dumbed down.
It's really dumbed down. It's watered down. I understand it. I respect it, and especially because I did spend some time in Florida, and doing that made me respect, you know, a different culture of hip hop as far as. Like down there, this was before Boosie was locked up. They love Lil Boosie down in Florida.
Let me tell you, I did so many damn ringtones for Boosie and Webby when I lived over west, and I was a ringtone lady back in 2005.
Yeah, right around there. Yeah.
2005. I did so many damn Lil Boosie damn ringtones because you know I had to hustle, I had to make some money. And everybody like, oh, Miss Lisa, can you get me Boosie's verse on? But I said, I don't know what the hell that is because I don't listen. My daughter loves Boosie. He talk about his kids, Ma. I was like, I don't care. I can't get past his voice.
Yeah, and that was my problem. I could not get past his voice. But listen, you know, going down in Florida, I met a guy down there, and we actually made each other CDs, and I gave him a bunch of stuff from up here up north, and he gave me a bunch of stuff from down south because he was like, you know, this is what you need to listen to, you know, because this bit be riding on the camera and on top of my, you know, that's the stuff he would say to me, and I was like, no, I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm gonna check it out. But you know, he put me on the Soulja Slim and stuff like that, so it was dope. Like it was good to do another culture, and not only that, but to learn the slang and then hear them rap. It's like, okay, that's what you were talking about. Because honestly, one of my favorite songs is Big Pimpin', Jay-Z UGK, right? I had no idea what Pimp C was talking about until I moved to Florida.
I mean, Uncle Chad, may he rest in peace. I love Uncle Chad.
I love his music.
Bun B is like, they was joking me because, like I said, I've been to Houston and New Orleans. And Steve is a big Cash Money fan. Like so much that we were riding around down in New Orleans like he's from there. Like he knows the streets and everything because he watched so many documentaries and so many interviews and so much about Cash Money that and then he was down and he met NULV, who was like who put the guys, those are the guys that put Cash Money in like on the charts because of their music. And so he's done music with them. Like we're down there, we ride past Baby's father's bar that's named after his mother. He's like, take a picture. I said, I'm white with a big ass black camera. Are you stupid? We're gonna get shot. They think the feds is after him or something. But that's like, I love Bun B. Bun B is like one of my favorite. 8 Ball, MJG. Like all them down south rappers are like I don't know why, I just vibrate to that music.
Well, my dad is from Port Arthur, Texas. If you know anything about that, is where Bun B.
Yes.
So you know, my dad when that song came out and he heard that it's just a jigga man Pimp C. You know, he was like, oh, they from PAT, that Port Arthur, Texas.
Port Arthur.
So you know, my dad loved them. And like I said, I didn't get the lingo. That's how I felt like with Kevin Gates with being from Baton Rouge.
You know, and I'm listening, I'm like, what the hell he talking about? But that's just like people listening to like stuff from here in Baltimore. Like Baltimore's got their own little slang, and I'm just like,
definitely.
Well, y'all shut. Like I don't where this LOR shit came for Lil. You know, I don't know where that shit came from. One day, my little cousin, his name was Lil Tommy. The next day it was Lil Tommy. I was like, what the hell is LOR? No, that's Lil Tommy. Right? May he rest in peace. I got a lot of rest in pieces. Good God Almighty. But like, you know, and it's like I said, with like, I'm sure you guys have you know, your own little slang up in PA.
Well, what's crazy is when I moved back to PA from Virginia, my friends was like, "Yo, you sound country," you know. And then I moved to Florida for a little bit, and they was like, "Oh, you from New York?" Like, nah, I'm not from New York. I'm from Pennsylvania. Oh, well, you sound like just like New York,
right? Because you got that draw.
It's the it's the accent, I guess. You know, to us, we have accent to them. You know what I mean? Like it's just it's weird. I personally know watching the rap game. You know, shout out to Nova and stuff. The girl that was on there, Detronata. You know that that you guys have down here. The you know, I didn't know that y'all actually talk like that, so I did a show down here, and y'all actually talk like that. I thought that was like some Medea shit. I thought maybe she was just watching Medea all the time, but no.
I don't know where they picked that stuff up. Like she just did Frozen Harbor. Her and Tate Cobain, they did Frozen Harbor, and Tate Cobain, I'm still on the fence about him because he took Bankrolls, which was an old song by Wayne Jones, who was a friend of mine, Tim Trees, and I just couldn't get past it. I don't know what it is about that. Like, I just felt some kind of way about that because, you know, I don't, you know. And then, like, I heard him do some songs, and I'm like, oh, he taking lyrics from other artists and putting them in his songs? Like, are you paying homage? You just ain't got nothing to say. So, I'm on the fence about him. But did you not, like, for her, you know, for her being 16.
Oh, no, she can spit. Don't get it twisted. It's just, me personally, when she would do the you know, I was just like, do they really talk like that? And I did a show down here. I was like, well,
some of them little kids, they do their own little thing, and I'd be like, my mother, like my daughter, she irritates my soul because like I said, I'm from the Eastern Shore, which is country. You know, my mother's from North Carolina. I moved down to, you know, I was out in Ohio for a while. I was up in New Jersey. I was down in Southwest Virginia, Tennessee for so long that my accent, and then I'm in Baltimore, so my accent is like everywhere. Yeah. I get around people who, you know, it's not that I pick up, but I kind of get back that accent that I had. Yeah. When I moved down to Virginia, well, I was actually in Tennessee because I was on the state line, but I was working in Tennessee, and I had one of the mountain men. You know, there's actually mountain people that only come down like once a month to come and get stuff from the store and stuff. And he was talking to me, and I said, because I said hi, I was like, hello, you know, he said something. And I was like, excuse me? And he was asking me how I was doing. And I said, I'm fine, you know. He was like, where are you from? I said, I'm from Maryland. I knew you was a damn Yankee. Actually, it's a southern state, but okay.
You got it.
But, you know, I keep, you know, that accent, like I said, when, you know, because I'm sure, you know, no matter where you go, like everybody doesn't think they have an accent. My mother hates the way I talk.
Well, like,
she hates it.
Reading is right outside Philly, so we say John. You know, you go past that John, give me that John. You know, we say that. And
we trying to make a trip. We trying to make a plans to go up Philly right now to go get damn cheesesteak.
I talked to my sister in Florida, and I'm like, yo, how's that John doing down there? She's like, what? You know, so it's crazy.
That sounds like a plan.
I'm just saying, like we stayed outside. We stayed outside the event on Thursday. So it was Steve and my man Blizzard and me. All of a sudden I heard, when we going to Philly? Huh? Steve, we said, when we going to Philly? I said, I don't know when we going to Philly. I felt like the damn, you ever seen the cartoon, The Jungle Book?
Yeah.
And the stupid buzzards?
Yeah.
What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? That's exactly what I felt because all three of us was doing that. I don't know. When do you want to go? I don't know when you want to go. I was like, we can go whenever you want to go. So then Steve was like telling Blizzard, well, you drive. Blizzard's like, I'm not driving. You drive. Steve said, I got a suspended license. I'm going to drive. I said, I will drive somebody's car. I just want a fucking cheesesteak. Because we went up there and we went to, I would never go there. I'm sorry, Geno's. I will never go to Geno's again.
So the first time, the first time I ever had a authentic Philly cheesesteak, we went to Geno's. Fucking terrible.
Terrible. It was.
And I just thought, you know,
well, see, for one, let me tell you, they don't put shit on it. You gotta put it on yourself.
It tastes like some cafeteria ass meat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I thought it was just me.
We went up there. I want to say it was for like a Sixers game or something like that. And I hadn't been there. My family is originally from Philly, but I'm born and raised, so I don't know shit about Philly except for where my family's at.
Right.
So we decided to go for a cheesesteak, and we're like, we Google it like a
well, it's the only place that's really open at late night.
Well, Pat's is right there as well, but Geno's just happened. I just know more people hadn't mentioned Geno's. I didn't know whether it was terrible or not. When I tell you this was the plainest fucking cheesesteak, I needed some sazon on it or something.
Is there another one like it's Max or something like
Max
that?
is the place to be. That's where they got the picture of Kevin Hart on the side of the building, and they got a bar right next to it. Mm-hmm. So after we did this interview at a radio station up there, we went to Max's, and I stood because the girl, it's this little Latino girl, Sin. She was like, don't go to Max's. If you go to Max's, you need to stay in the car. The fuck I need to stay in the car for? Because I'm white. That's why. Shit. I got out the car, had my Baltimore Paparazzi jacket on, and the people was looking at me like, how you doing? And got right in there, and like people's coming in like, how you doing? How you doing? Da-da-da-da-da, all this stuff. The next day, I find out my homegirl was in the bar. She was like, girl, I was right in the bar, right next door. And I was like, damn it. But that day, I got a foot long. I got the whole sub. Yeah. Whole sub is this goddamn long. $18. This damn wide. Man, I ate that whole thing by myself. It took me a couple days. My grandson got a little piece of it. I wasn't sharing that shit with nobody. Steve wants to go to D'Alessandro's. That's his spot, D'Alessandro's, I believe. But I've heard people talk about Pat's and Gino. We went to Gino's. I was not happy.
Nope.
Them drunk ass white people was happy as shit, but no, I wasn't drunk enough for that sub.
And Reading, we have this place called the Getty, where if you're drunk enough, that fried chicken is the most amazing fried chicken in the world. If you go there during the day and you sober, you do not want to touch that shit.
So yeah, that's like we try and make this run. I don't know when, but I'm like, make sure I got some money because I gotta get me a sub. I want to say it's we got spots around here. You out? All right. So we got spots around here that make our thing is chicken boxes.
Okay.
It's chicken boxes, wings and fries, and a half and half, which is tea and lemonade. But not every place got the good half and half. like people are like, so where do we go? I'm like, I don't know. I don't live around here. I mean, there's places all up and down these streets. Yeah. But it's like that's why when people ask me, I'm like, I'm not from here. I just live here. Yeah. There's a difference,
No, Reading, we're known for our Spanish food. A lot of Spanish culture in Reading because the Spanish population there is crazy. So, if you need a spot to go get some good panini, I got you.
Well, that's like the girl. She took us to the Latin spot right next to the. I don't know what it. She ordered it. It was Mofongo.
Yeah.
Oh. That was so good. Steve didn't like his own thing, but I did. I loved that. I was.
Now you got to make it out to Reading. You make it out to Reading, I'll show you the good spots.
Yeah, because like I said, that's why I keep telling my it's just everything is tied up. Yeah. I'm like I can't go nowhere. Like my friend Jay McGraw, he's the owner of MAM Records. Okay. I think it's Records MAM. Yeah, MAM Records. Yeah. But he's got a birthday party and it's down in D.C. And I'm like, I'm going to get there. My daughter works. She works every weekend. Yeah. Except for I think it's the last weekend of April. Because that's my oldest granddaughter. She lives on the Eastern Shore. It's her birthday. So they're going over there for the weekend. But it's just like I want to get out to these spots. Like I need to get, because I want to see what else is going on. Like I know there's some Pennsylvania artists that I've seen perform because Billy has brought them down. Yeah. And it's music to me that I love so much. Yeah. So Jason's like, you need to come up here. I'm like, Jason, I know. They're like, they had March Madness. I was like, I know, I want to come. Like, and it's just so hard for me to do all that stuff.
Well, now I know that you always go to a show. Like, where's all the main shows that you mainly go
around here?
Yeah.
I really haven't been going to any. Like, I used to go, like my first year in, I went to like 60 shows between here and Brooklyn, New York. But like lately, I haven't really been going to anything except for like wisdom court events, and that's been like right down the street. Where was Frozen Harbor was at Soundstage. I really haven't been going to many shows because like I really don't even know who's performing. Like I see every once in a while I'll see an artist on my page and they'll be like, yeah, I'm performing at such and such place. And I'm like, where the hell is that at? I've never even heard of it. You know, because there's these new spots that people are throwing hip hop shows, but it's almost like we're right back at the beginning again.
And that's kind of hard right now in Reading because it's like every time we do one hip hop show, then it's like where we throw it at, they don't like it. So now it's like we're venue hopping.
Right. It's like you don't have a home.
Exactly.
A home for your, you know, because...
And as much as we want to find a home for it, it's kind of hard. And even not even the local bars even allowing it. Really? But y'all allow hip-hop and do DJs and shit. I'm not got nothing against DJs, but I'm just saying, like, sometimes these...
Right.
The community needs a spot. Like, I could say, like I said, Reading has a lot of R&B and hip hop artists that are not being seen. Right. Like I'm noticing artists that I never even heard from in my life, or as long as I've been doing shows, and then some of them be like, "Oh, I got music." When the hell did you start rapping? like, and then it's like, who I was speaking to? I forgot who I was speaking to the one time. The cat was like, "Oh, I sing." When the hell did you start singing? Like, and it's like, yo, you gotta hear my music. You gotta hear my music. So it's like, it's hard. Right. It's very hard, and it's like you said, to find a home for it. Right. See, it's not like I said, right with now. me wanting to do like throw my showcases again, I need to find a venue that's not gonna rape my pockets, but I need to find a place that's easy to get to. And parking is not an issue. We have a place down on Howard Street, which is called the Cultural Arts Center. And it's a nice place because you got a downstairs and an upstairs. You can hold an event downstairs or upstairs. But parking fucking sucks. Yeah. You on the street parking. And no, I got lucky to park down the block and around the corner on the corner. Like, I hope nobody comes and fucking hits my car. You know, but... That's my thing when I think about a venue, and just like you were saying, like, you know, when you see somebody, you're like, what the heck? One of my showcases, one of my friends was like, my wife, she raps, and she wants to do your show. I was like, all right, cool. I gave everybody a chance. If you suck, that's on you. I'm giving you a platform to get to be heard. If you suck, I'm gonna tell you, that's your problem. So. Then it was like, well, her homegirl, she raps too, so she wants to do, okay, 15 tickets, you keep $75, you give me the other $75. That's all I ask. So they get on stage, and Storm, she's phenomenal. Like, she's just awesome. Her name's Storm because her hair is black. She put the white streak in her hair. Okay. And she's phenomenal. Calico gets on stage, and when she gets off stage, where the hell have you been? Like, where did you come from? Yeah. She's just, like, she's got this song, I'll Take Your Bitch. That's what it's called. She performed it at the place called The Depot down on Charles Street, and I recorded it, and I put it on my Baltimore Paparazzi Facebook page. It got so much love from people. I don't know who the hell they were, how they found her, or anything else. She was getting love from Texas on that bitch. Oh, wow. They was sharing it. They was commenting. Yo, so-and-so, listen to this song. Da-da-da-da-da-da. And, you know, she's a lesbian. I was like, I'll take your bitch. You know, point blank, you know. And it's like one of my favorite songs that she performs. But it's just, like I said, when I hear somebody, I'm like, where the hell did you come? I've been rapping for such and such many years. Come to find out, she knows my girl Raina Williams, who was on the X Factor, and she, you know, she been rapping. She did. I'm like, yo, Baltimore is so small, but it's so big at the same time. Yeah. You know, have you run into that too as well?
No, like, the thing is, in Reading, it's small with a lot of people. Right. So, really it surprises me when I find somebody who you know is new to the rap. I'm like, oh shit, I get excited, you know what I mean? But then a lot of times they're like, wait a minute, I know you from da da da, and you've been new. I rap.
You ain't say nothing.
Nothing. You know what I mean? So
maybe they were intimidated.
But you know, I get excited when I know a lot of people, you know, they start hating or they like, oh nah, you should quit while you're ahead. Me personally, I get excited, and really, especially with younger artists, I look at them, I'm like, wow, when I was your age, I sucked. You know what I mean? You're better than I was, so like you're gonna be fucking great, you know. So I enjoy a lot of new music. I get excited about, you know, I get excited about music. I don't know why I get so excited about music, but I really do.
Right. So this is one thing I talked about before in another interview about when I first came in the scene back in 2006, 2007. I didn't start going to shows till 2008. So nobody's seen my face really. Mm. They heard me on the Blog Talk Radio show that I was calling in on. A man named Shaka Pitts, who had a Blog Talk Radio show, and he had Play It or Spray It, where he would play a song. He wouldn't say who it was, and people in the chat room or on the phones would say play it or spray it. Mm. And I would get on there and I would talk. And at that time, everybody knew me as Bomb's fan. Bomb was the guy who brought me into everything. And he's my family. His daughter and my daughter have kids that are the same age. They're cousins. They went to the high school together the last year of high school, and they're cousins and they're best friends and everything. So when I came in the scene, I knew absolutely nobody. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not like when a lot of people come in the scene, oh yeah, my sister, my cousin, my brother, so and so, they rap this, that, and the third. No, I knew nobody. I gained a family afterwards. So I was on there and I was talking, you know. Of course, when everybody realized when I would be at a show, they'd be like, "You're Lisa from the show?" And I was like, "Yeah, I thought you were black." I'm like, I know, I get that a lot. Gotten that for many years. No, I'm not. I'm white. And then I throw my white voice on. They be like, "Oh, don't do that again." But yeah, where was I going with this? Oh, when I first came in, a lot of people didn't know what BMI and ASCAP were. They didn't know about the copyright. They didn't know about the publishing. They didn't know, like, they just rapped and that was all they did. They put music out. That was it. So, but there was cats who did know. They just wasn't sharing that information. So have you seen that happen previously and maybe even today?
There was my neighbor, who has actually been my neighbor for a long time, but I actually just met him maybe like 2 weeks ago.
You sound like me. For my first year in Baltimore, I didn't talk to nobody. I went to work and came back.
I didn't talk to him.
I just mind my business.
I work all the time.
And I just mind my business.
So he had gotten into a little dispute with his girlfriend, and I guess it had gotten physical or whatever. So he had gotten kicked out of the building, but then he was back. So me being me and not liking dudes that beat up women, I approached him, you know, about it, and you know, I said my piece about it. He said his piece and how he felt embarrassed or whatever. But then he asked me, he seen a tattoo on my hand, and he asked me, he said, "Oh, you rap?" And I said, "Yeah, man, I rap. You know, I've done this. I've opened up for the mayor, and I've done this and this." And you know, I was explaining to him. He was like, "Man, I be wanting to rap, and you know, sometimes I don't know whether to do it or not because I don't want to invest this money." And this young man is 19. And I said, "Bro, you're at the perfect age, and if you expect yourself to just drop one song, post it on SoundCloud, and get signed off of it, that's not going to happen. Mm-mm. 1 in a billion shot that's going to happen." So you know, I kicked him to a little game. Like, look, man, if you got to invest in yourself. Ain't no label going to invest in you until you invest in yourself. So you know, spend some money on the studio, and don't just go somewhere where they're going to put your vocals over the beat and not mix and master it. And don't ask me how much the hour is. Ask me how much the mix down is, because that's what's more important than the fucking hour. So I was just, you know, kicking him the game, and mind you, I went out there with a hot head, ready to beat him the fuck up for beating his girlfriend.
Right,
you know, but, you know, I try to kick that to younger artists, you know, and you know, whether it's obviously he wasn't ready for ASCAP and everything else yet, but just getting him there. Like, look, bro, if you need anything, just knock on my door. You feeling a little stressed out about your girl, bro? Knock on your door. I'll throw a beat on. We both sit here and write. If I'm at work, I'm at work. But I'll definitely help you out. And that's what I try to do, because at the end of the day, nobody did that for me.
See, and that's what I noticed. Like, and I was wondering if it's still going on, because I really don't deal with artists like I used to when I first came in the scene. Like, I don't claim I'm like that person that is a jack of all trades and a master of none. Yeah. I know a little bit of knowledge about a lot of things. Yeah. So, and a lot of things I pick up because I read. Yeah. Somebody says, it talks about something, and I will go and look it up. Just like them little phony stories on Facebook everybody thinks is the truth. It's
always real.
And I go and I look and I go and educate myself before I say anything. So I was doing that with this business, trying to find out how I would go to a studio and sit behind the engineer and watch him. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Watch how he records, watch how they do this, watch how they do that. I just pay attention. Now, I can't do all that stuff, but I'm educated enough to know that there's presets for certain, this presets for this person, this presets for that person. That way, and all that stuff. I've watched enough engineers from different studios and see how everybody does things, because not every engineer does the same thing. Yeah. So when I came in, like I said, I was like, you all are a commodity. Even you with your business, as far as throwing shows and stuff, you have to market and advertise yourself, just like Arm & Hammer has to market and advertise their damn detergent.
We wouldn't know what it was without the commercials.
Right. So you need to market and advertise yourself. You need to invest in yourself. You need to make business cards. I was telling people at the time, you need to make flyers with your face on it, with your information on there, how to get a hold of you, how to this was a time when it was hard to get your music. Like, at that time it was MySpace, and you could only put 4 songs on the damn player. It was hard to put a video on YouTube. It was hard to get your music on iTunes, and it was damn near impossible to get your music out there. But lo and behold, this generation now, it's like, this is the way I have always described it. When I came in, it was like this dirt road, and slowly we put gravel on that road, and slowly we paved that road. So now the kids that are coming into this scene, they don't know how much we had to struggle
and work for it
to get to this point now, where you can just go and your music is on iTunes, Google Play, it's on Spotify, it's Tidal. You can get your music on everything now. You might have to pay some money, but you can get it on there, and you can be on YouTube. And I call the generation now, because a lot of them, especially here in Baltimore, I've never seen them perform a day in their life. Mm-hmm. And it shows when they do perform, because they're just rapping over their tracks. They're holding the mics out here.
Mm-hmm. And that's one thing I hate the most, is instead of just playing the beat, you should already know your lyrics.
I have this debate with a lot of people, and a lot of people say the same things. Well, a lot of these venues, their sound system sucks.
It has nothing to do with the sound system.
It has to do with you being fucking lazy and not getting a show CD made.
Yeah,
exactly.
If you want your vocals on there, have them turn them bitches down so I can hear you. It's like a singer. I can listen to Mariah Carey on a CD, but I want to hear you live.
I paid to hear you live.
And that's just like rap. I had said something to somebody about rapping over the track. So you know what they told me? This was like when there was some award show that had come on a few years ago. Well, Rick Ross rapped over his lyrics. I said, but you're not Rick Ross. Mm-hmm. And Rick Ross, a fat bastard who can't breathe on that stage. This is when he was fat.
Yeah.
And he couldn't really breathe. Yeah. That ad-lib, I swear to God, he just accidentally came upon that ad-lib. I swear to God. But I have issues with that, because I want to hear you rap. Now, at the Ja Rule show, there was an artist. And now I give him credit. He didn't have his lyrics. He had his ad libs and the hook. Yeah. Cool. I'm cool with that. Yeah. Then he forgot his words.
Oh man.
To the whole verse.
Wow.
The whole verse. Forgot his words.
How you forget your own shit? That's
See, but everybody was like, "Oh, you gotta give him some." You know, I was like, "No, I ain't gotta give him shit."
Well,
if I had paid for that show,
yeah, you'd have been upset.
I would have been upset because, yeah, but you didn't practice.
You got somebody bashing your name, like how could she put somebody on stage who don't even know the lyrics or do they shit?
Not even like it wasn't even like because it wasn't my show, but. Like, they were coming off at me because I said something.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you got to give him a break. He might have been, it was a, you know, sound stage. Maybe he never performed in front of all them people before. That's not my problem nor my concern. Yeah. My concern is you don't know the words to your own song. And then later on, he redeemed himself by, you know, knowing the rest of all the songs. But then again, he's rapping over the lyrics to that song. And he's jumping up and down. And, you know, yeah, you're hype. Yeah. You're hype. I could care less about you being hype. I'm a words person. Yeah. So I like words. And if you're just going to rap over your lyrics, why don't you just hand me your CD?
Facts.
Listen to that in my car.
Yeah.
Well, I would if I had a CD player in my car. And I don't even have a radio in my house or a CD player in my house. So I just suck right now. But yeah, so, you know, it's you know, I can understand argument like the sound system sucked. Did you do a sound check?
At all.
And that's what some of them don't understand is even before, like when I do my shows, I give them a set time like, yo, if you want to come do a sound check, come do a sound check. And none of them will. They don't show up. And then when you give them a certain time, it's like, oh, I couldn't make it. I gave you the opportunity.
Right. And see, and like, okay, and you doing that is getting them ready for bigger shows, because just like I had a young man hit me on my IG. I don't know who this man, I don't know who he is. Hey, how we get on your show?
First of all,
I let it sit there for a couple of days. Because I have 3 personalities. Yeah. And the third personality is not nice. Yeah. I have to keep her locked up in chains with big locks and shit. I have to keep her caged up. Because, yeah, she comes out every once in a while. But I had to let it sit for a couple of days. So then finally I went to it after like 3 days and said, first of all, you should have like introduced yourself. And, you know, let me know who you are. Hi, my name is such and such. I was wondering how to get an interview on your show. He was like, oh, my bad. But I said, look, I understand. I said, I try to be professional when it comes to this stuff. So you learn how to become professional with this stuff. My homeboy was like, well, I mean, Lisa, I'd be on the go. And I'd just be like hitting people up, hitting promoters up and hitting this. Because, you know, I'd be on the go. I said, I understand that. And I understand your mentality. I don't get offended when you do that to me because we know each other. I said, but some of these people, when they come at me, it's like they're coming at me sideways, and I don't deal with that.
A lot of people don't deal with that. Like you said, I get a lot of artists that do hit my inbox, and they are respectful. Right. They tell me such and such, their name, how long they've been rapping. Like, sometimes I get a resume, and it's like, oh, God. Like, it's like... So then I sit there, and I'll read it, and then I'll respond. I'm like, okay, now send me the link to your music. Right. And we'll go from there. But some of them, I had somebody not too recently, like, yo, he said something, and I just, like, curved the whole message, and I left it there. Sometimes you have to, because you don't want to get out of character. You know what I mean? And like, with me, like, sometimes it depends on my mind state. It depends on what I'm going through in my life or whatever. Sometimes I don't give a fuck. But... I had a young lady do that in my inbox on Facebook on my Baltimore Paparazzi page, and what she did was she sent her video, put her video in my inbox. It was like, go download this, blah 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 blah. I left it alone, didn't say nothing. A few months later, go download this, go watch my video on YouTube, go SoundCloud, go do that. I said, So I hit her. I said, why are you contacting me? I said, may I ask, why are you contacting me? It's called promoting. I thought that was obvious. Wow. First of all, that's not how you do it.
I said, well, honestly, what you should have done is you should have introduced yourself to me and asked me to listen to your music, watch your YouTube, whatever. Well, you should have introduced yourself to me. You didn't introduce yourself to me. I said, I didn't hit you up. You're on my page hitting me up. So have a nice day. I was like, oh, she ain't hit me since. She might have unfollowed my page too. I don't care. But like, to me, it's a professional thing. Like, I know, like, I just, like, this is my show. I have total, you know, I don't have nobody here working anything. I do everything myself. And that's the way I like it. Because it's not that I'm a control freak, but I just like having creative control of, this is my baby. It took me 4 years to say, okay, I'm ready to do my radio show. And I got offers to do it on different stations. But Hard Body Radio was the first one 4 years prior to say, I was like, you know what, I want to do a radio show. Come do it with us. Yeah. I was like, I'm not ready yet. Took me 4 years. Took me 4 years. What the hell?
That would be me.
Okay. Took me 4 years to say, okay, I'm ready to do this. So when I went to 3D in the other building, I said, all right, I'm ready to do my radio show. So what I got to do? You got to come up with a name in the spotlight. You got to come up with a day, Saturdays. My show was from 7 to 9. And then somebody was going to do a show behind mine. So he switched me to 6 to 8. I was like, well, that's cool, because by the time 8 o'clock gets here, I can still go to other events afterwards.
Yeah, afterwards, yeah.
And so it's my baby. I've had other people ask me, oh, you should come over. I got a show idea for you. I got a show idea right here. I got a show right here.
I get the same aspects. Like, a lot of people want me to come and join them, and it's like, I got my own thing. You know what I mean? As much as I respect the support,
right?
But I like I gotta do it,
right?
Like I want to do it.
And, you know, and it's like when I was doing my shows too. Like, I've had people that would want to, like, we should join it together and to make it bigger and everything else. And I did it one time with one other promoter, and he was from DC. He brought 6 artists. It was supposed to be 6 artists from DC, 6 artists from Baltimore. And we made a show called Clash of the Titans. And I think 2 of my artists didn't show up. And I think maybe one of his artists didn't show up or whatever. But that was the most amazing night. I made money that night because we split costs and everything. But I don't think that I would be able to do it with just anybody. It's just like almost like a collab with, you know, with artists. I mean, I'm sure that there's probably artists who have said, oh, I want to do a collab with you, and you've listened to their music and be like, I don't think it would probably mesh well together.
You know, I've had that issue, but I think really it's about the business and stuff, because honestly, like, I'm not going to work with you if I don't, for one, I don't know you. For 2, if I don't think you're going to add anything to the song that I can't add myself. Right. And for 3, if the money ain't right. So something has to be there. Right.
And you know? What I've also seen with artists that have made songs with people, and then like you'd be like, all right, well, I got a show such and such a day, da 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 da. I want to do this song. Man, I can't do it. Yeah. And then you're like,
well, even something as simple as shooting a video becomes 20 times harder if you have 3, 4, 5, 6 artists on it, because you guys not only you, but all the artists have to make the same day as the director that can make the same day and the same time and be okay with the concept, and one person might not be okay with the concept because his religious beliefs, or you know what have you. It's really ridiculous. So I have done a lot of features, and the people that I have done features with are a lot more like family than anything. But you know, I've always made sure that either the business is right or the love is right, one or the other. Right. I really won't do. You know, I've had people in my inbox like, "Yo, bro, I like your music. We should do a song together." If I don't know you at all, right? So how much money are we talking? Oh, you don't want to pay me no money because you don't think I'm a big enough artist to make any money. Well, my time is valuable, and I believe that my time is valuable.
Right.
I'm not going to wait. And there's times when, you know, I've done it off the love, and we never get into the studio to record it. So I just wasted the 45 minutes, the hour that it took for me to write the verse to do nothing with it. Right.
And like, and it could be like you wrote that verse with a specific concept that, you know, you might be able to take something from the verse and use it for something else, but 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be able to. Yeah. It's like, that's why I said, like, these artists that are making songs on industry beats that they can never sell, to me, it's like you wasting your bars.
I don't understand what the point is.
You know, like, I thought the whole process, you know, was trying to make some kind of, to make some money. Yeah. You know,
like I said, like you said earlier, the industry beats are great for practice.
Right.
But outside of that, you know,
or if there's an industry beat that you really fuck with and be like, yo, I'm gonna kill this shit, and you do it for your own self.
If I can look you up on YouTube, right, and you have, let's say, 5 videos, 4 videos, 3 videos, and they're all industry beat videos. Mm-hmm. And then you sound like the artist that did them on the videos. Right. It really ain't no point in me listening to it anymore.
Right.
Because I mean, personally, I enjoy music. I enjoy songs. If I wanted to listen to a whole beat, I'm going to listen to a whole song. You understand? So, you know, I have people around me that'll say, oh, yo, you should kill this beat. And, you know, sometimes I feel it, sometimes I won't. But you won't really see me put too much budget behind a industry song.
Right. I mean, and to me, it's like, it's a waste of time. And that's, like I said, like with collabs, like, you know, there's artists that you know that they on the same page as you as far as business wise, you know, and everything, and that's cool. But then, like you said, like, you know, if they're not there, and then you make this song, because I've seen it time and time and time again, and like the song would be like the hardest song, be like, oh, that shit is like, that's the winner, but you can't get that person to come out and do a damn show. Much less, you know, well, let's shoot a video for it at least. Man.
I work that day. I can't. Listen, my thing is, you know, I'm blessed enough to have a flexible job schedule. So if I need to request off, I'll request off. You know? Right. Not everybody has that. Some people have to work Monday through Friday, or, you know, work Saturdays, or what have you. I think that if you're willing to take a paycheck over investing in yourself, for instance, to me, this is my brand, this is my business, okay? So I would much rather work this than work my job for a paycheck. You understand? Right. So I don't, you know, if you're taking this serious, if this is what you want to do, if you want to be in the music game and really actually pursue it, then this needs to come number one. And that's over anything, with the exception of maybe your kids. But it needs to come before your relationship. It needs to come before anything else, because this is what you want to do. Nobody else is going to want this more for you than yourself.
Because if you don't want it that way, it's just a hobby.
It's just a hobby.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to play this song, because we talk about collabs.
Yeah.
You know, you see how I run into that, right? You see how I did that, right?
This one right here is Pull Up. It's featuring my man Skyline, who was actually supposed to be here, but he's not. Shout out to him and Mac Montega. This was actually a great collab. This is something that, you know, was more business minded, and I love their music, and I felt like they would fit the record, and they showed up for the video, and they did everything they needed to do, and I knew they were about their business, so that's why they got the spots and not certain other artists.
All right. Well, I'm definitely gonna get Skyline in here one way or another. I'm sure Jason's gonna work that out. Shout out to Brian Hoyt, who just woke up a little while ago and tuned right into YouTube to watch my. This is a man who supports hip hop here in Baltimore, and he tunes in almost like every Saturday to my show.
Shout out to him.
He doesn't, you know, he doesn't know any. It's just because he does it because I'm doing this, and I love Brian to death. Like, he won the award. He beat me out for the award for Supporter of the Year a couple years ago. I wasn't even mad because it was him. Yeah. If it was anybody else, I would have been upset. Yeah. But no, it was him. So shout out to Brian for always tuning in and always reposting the channel. So yeah, we're gonna play Pull Up. This is Lisa, the Baltimore Paparazzi, Hard Body Radio in the spotlight. I'm trying to get more of on the schedule, y'all. I'm trying, cause I'll talk for days. I will. So yeah, we'll be right back. Yeah. I see you keep checking your phone.
No, it was because I had people hitting me because of the live and all that.
Yeah, everyone's like, go live. I'm like,
show no support
I
until
click
it's
the
too late.
link.
They want
I
to make
just
what
threw
you
it on
make.
my
They want to
drum.
shout
I'm
what you
tagging
shout
it.
and make the moves that you made, but won't respect the
I like this beat.
It's actually kind of
wake up, I never took a loss or a pay cut. Still with my day, once we dead, niggas say some. I done seen it all before. Them the type to run they jaw. Shit. Them the type to call the law. Shit. I don't fuck with them at all. It's like them niggas love hustling backwards. Money talks, they ain't saying shit like mumbling rappers. Hip hop ain't dead, it's a fucking disaster. I mean, most of your favorite rappers are actors. I mean, most rappers don't rap no more. It's like the niggas ain't trying to hear facts no more. Told my brother, I ain't coming here to play no more. If it's me against the world, shit, say no more.
Nikki MC, she's one of my co-workers at District 9 nightclub.
She said, get it. Shirt looks good.
When I pull up, I'm shitting
That was on the hard body.
I'm shitting on these niggas, I'ma need a pull up. When I pull up, 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 I'ma pull up like what's up. You better have that energy when I pull up. I'm shitting on these niggas every time I pull up. I'm shitting on these niggas, I'ma need a pull up. When I pull up.
That's what I'm saying, that's him right there.
Mama told me don't get involved with the stars. Even when you dealing with stars, you the walk. So pulling the dirty hard, dealing hard. Told the dealer I need a cop. Young niggas riding up dirty to make them clean. Furnace in the worst conditions I couldn't drink.
Remind me of somebody.
Conditions feel like a dream. When you coming from nothing, that's all you need. There's a blessing when you do 21. Growing and jungle, niggas dying, you surviving the eye. Making you humble from the bottom when you run with the lions, no time to front. Cause I've been living life trying to see a meal. When my ribs to the crack, they had to feed me real. So we pray for it, make it pay for it. If you ain't really trying to get it, then you late for it. Had a scheme for it.
I can hear the meat influence. But at first he would sound like somebody else. But I hear that like that second half. I can hear that meat in him.
I'm a cold G like a stack in the freezer. You niggas cold chumps hard when they lick it up. Jump start across his face. Nip top. I plot on him before he go in his house and watch me pop out the trash like Oscar the Couch. You know I'm a R-I-D-A fan front on Mac. You need a bulletproof face man. Top shot with the yardie, they cold.
Bulletproof face man.
I get money. That work ain't nice crap. I play for the charming and bring Snow White back. I'm the shit, homeboy. See the flies on me, rolling, come with no tick. Call it the benchmark. From the crack era, nigga, fuck a baby name. Dookie roll baseball jack like it's 88. Nigga, I'm great. Nice is an understatement. Y'all flow premature. Incubate. Mr. Flappy Fly, see the pimpin' in my stepper. Don't be surprised if you heard your heifer on my pack. Pull up, like what's up? You better have that energy when I pull up. I'm shitting on these niggas every time I pull up. I'm shitting on these niggas, I'ma need a pull up. When I pull up. When I pull up. When I pull up. When I pull up.
Okay. All right. Oh,
How you feel about that one?
I like that.
Yeah.
I told you, as soon as that beat came on, I was like, I like this beat. Shit. But yeah, like I said, I listen to words and stuff. So certain things, like I said, and I like the Skyline. Like I was listening, I was like, yo, he remind me of somebody. Like he did, not that he sounded like that person, but it's just somebody. And then like when you said meek, I was like, I heard like in the second half of his verse, I could hear that meek influence.
Did I just add you?
But yeah, and then like that whole bulletproof face mask shit got me. That shit was hilarious. Look. They over here playing on the phones and shit. But yeah, like I'm mad there's only 2 songs. What the hell?
I got a lot more coming. My project Free YB is actually coming soon. It's completely free. It'll be free for this is my version of a mixtape. It's not really a mixtape. It's only going to be 8 tracks, but they're all original tracks. Yeah, but like I said, the EP you would pay for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
After I drop the free YB, I will be dropping my actual album / EP.
That's smart. Maybe it's because you've been doing this for a while that you kind of learned as you went along, like what to do, what not to do. But like a lot of artists, they don't understand that concept. I don't believe.
Well, I've been doing this for a while. Not only that, but I had Zeph here to really help me out with a lot of things. And having your team and having management is very important because I handle the music, he handles the business. So we have a great balance of that. But like I said, free YB is definitely coming. It'll be coming. I'd say before July. I'm more aiming for June. I've already recorded 13, 14 songs, and there's 14 eights going on there. I have 2 videos already shot and done. One's posted on YouTube. I already signed a deal for the next one. So I'd say out of the 8 songs, there's probably gonna be 4 or 5 videos on YouTube for the project. And then while we're shooting those videos, we're gonna be working on the album.
That's very, very smart. I mean, because like I said, I've seen so many artists just like, I don't know what they're thinking.
A lot of people think that they could just post the shit on SoundCloud and it's going to get shared a million times, and it doesn't work like that because, a lot of my support are from people that don't know me. Your own family won't support you a lot of times in this music shit. So
most definitely
you can't, and really there's ways of coming at people as far as like, hey, look, can you share my stuff, as opposed to like, oh, it's promotion, I thought that was obvious.
Exactly.
You understand? Like there's a lot of different ways and tactics that you can go for people, and you're gonna get a lot of hate. There's gonna be a lot of people saying, oh, you're still trying to rap, or things like that, and really I would not live with myself properly if I went home, if I went to work, I made money for my boss, because really I don't make the real money. My boss makes the real money. And then I came home and I just sat on my ass. No, I'm going to pursue my passion. Right. Whether it's rapping, whether it's fucking whatever it is. That's what
paper
I'm
mache.
It could be anything. You don't come at people for trying to draw. You understand? This is an art. I love rapping. I will forever love rapping, whether I'm fucking 30, 40, or 50 years old. I'm going to love rapping.
And I've said this time and time again, and music is therapy for me. Music is my therapy. Like, if I'm posting videos on my Facebook, you can pretty much tell what kind of mood I'm in.
Yeah.
And, if I'm posting something that's, punching somebody in the face, then I'm mad as hell. Yeah. If I'm posting some lovey-dovey shit, I'm so in love, or my friend actually acted right that day or something. Yeah. And or if you can always tell. I always say music is my therapy. Yeah. Music is therapy for the artist as well, because what you're dealing with in life comes out in your music, and that's why I like music that I can relate to. Like I said, Kevin Gates, I can't relate to everything that he says, but I can relate to a lot of things that he says. So if it's relatable, then I really do like that kind of music. And music is life. Music can change your mood. Yeah. Last week, I was upset. I was crying all the time. I suffer from depression. Yeah. I talk about it all the time. I suffer from major depressive disorder. And so I get in these crying fits where I just like, So I'm listening. Of course, after a certain time on the radio, they playing all these damn love songs. I'm going to listen to this shit because then I'm going to cry more. So over to the rock station I go. And I'm listening to the rock music. And I'm listening, it changes your mood. It's and they say the water is life. I understand we need water to live. But we need music to live.
Well, I've always believed that music will change your way of thinking.
It does.
And what I mean by that is, especially in the late 80s, early 90s, and there's still artists to this day that will say something a certain way and have your completely different point of view from it, And that's how I've always felt, and that's eventually what I want to make. I want to make life-changing music. I want you to hear my shit and be like, damn, I've always hated this about life. But the way he just said it maybe that shit ain't so bad. You understand? So, and I feel like also I do make music that's relatable because I'm sure that there's somebody that's in my same shit.
Like I said, that song right there. Yeah. How many times have people? I don't care who you are. there's been somebody in your lifetime that has made you say that. Boy, I wish you'd pull the hell up
right now.
Just pull up. Just pull up. You don't do it.
Yeah,
you don't want to do it.
And
because
that song came from that place, you know, because obviously that day when I wrote that verse and wrote that hook and heard that beat, that's how I felt about it, because I could have went a completely different direction with that beat.
I don't know. So, I don't know, because that beat, them words fit that beat. I'm sorry. I'm
glad you like that. I'm glad
yeah. As soon as that beat, as you heard me, as soon as it dropped, I was like, oh, wait a minute, I like that. That's why Mistress was like, you should try making a beat. I was like, oh. I just know music. We there was a producers battle at the Crown Awards one year, and I'm sitting on the stage because I was up front taking pictures, but I sat down during the producers battle because I just got to take a couple pictures of the producer because they're just standing there listening to the beat. So the beat dropped and it's playing and it's playing and it's playing and it's playing and it's playing, and then they turned it off because after a certain amount of seconds they turned off. He's like, whoa, wait a minute, hold up. It was like, what? We played. It was like, it didn't even drop yet. Yo, what the hell? So they played it again, and my man Only was on the other side of the stage. He's an artist, and I'm sitting on stage, and he's looking right at me. I don't know what made him look straight at me, but I'm sitting there, and I'm like, It should have dropped right there.
Yeah.
And he was like, see, even Lisa knows it should have dropped right there. It was a long ass intro.
Yeah.
I was like, that was unnecessary.
Well, there's only so much you can put in the intro. Like, you eventually got to drop that shit.
I was like, as an artist, like, you're going to do what? Like, you're paying for a whole, like, intro.
Yeah.
But, that's why I said, like, I like beats. I like beats so much that there was a Yo Gotti song, Fuck You.
Yeah.
And it was actually, because somebody told me that was actually a Cameron song, something.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know whose fucking song it was. I went and got the instrumental because I didn't really care for the words. I just liked the whole fuck you and the beat. I may still have it on my phone. I'm not real sure. But, like I said, I love music.
I think when that beat hits and that first fuck you comes out, you just look at the first person that's near you. Fuck you.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like sometimes, like, that's why, like, a lot of places didn't like playing Annie Up in a club.
Because it'll fuck the club up.
Right.
Hey, man, and you fuck up.
Right. You'd be like, I'd be like, oh, wait a minute. That's just like we were. I was at the event on Thursday night, and I'm standing there taking pictures, and J Money jumped off stage. I was like, oh fuck, here we go. So then there was a dude had been staying right here, and then he was drunk. I don't like drunk people when I'm sober. Yeah. I don't like drunk people when I'm drunk.
Nah,
but I'm just saying. So, and I'm famous for this.
Yeah. Hit him with the Heisman.
Well, he got the elbow and the arm. While I'm standing there looking up here with my camera, I'm not even looking at him, I'm just pushing him. So, and they was jumping around, and then I was like, oh, hell. And I'm waiting. But they didn't. After I pushed dude, he got away from me. But, there's certain music that gets you hyped. Like I said, I can understand why this hype, this music now, everybody wants to be hyping. My man Spence he's the turn up king. His music is turn up music. And with all due respect, I can't be turned up all the time.
Yeah, and that's what I try to do with the feeling of my music. I try to give you different emotions.
Well, see, even those two songs right there were
different energies.
Completely different.
And that's what I try to give, because like you, I'm not hype all the time. Really, I'm a really actually laid back person. But that Puerto Rican comes out real quick. So yeah, I mean that I do get very hyped sometimes. So I try to give you guys different emotions, and really the 8 tracks that you're gonna have is gonna be 8 completely different tracks. You're gonna know it's me. You're gonna know it's my flow. You're gonna know it's my voice, but it's gonna be a different energy every single song. That's
why I think I was like Latin in a previous lifetime. I swear to God. I swear I swear I was, because that temper comes in. But see, I'm Native American. And my mother is Cherokee, and she got Cherokee and Sioux and a whole bunch of other shit. My father has got Irish and French and some other shit. So I've got like Irish and Native American.
Yeah.
And those two clash together, I got a bad temper. Like, and then I got, and plus drinking too. You can put that in there.
Well, my dad's 100% black, you know, and I guess that's where the calmness comes from. Because my dad's pretty calm. He's a pretty laid back guy. But that little dash of Puerto Rican that comes out, I start talking fast, you know what I mean, and I get a little crazy. But like I said, I'm an emotional person. A lot of men won't admit to that. I'm a very emotional person. There's time when I'm happy, I'm extremely happy. When I'm being goofy, I'm extremely goofy. But when when I'm mad, I'm extremely mad. Right. So that's what I try to give you, you know, in every different song. You know?
So what I've been wanting to ask, I usually don't ask questions like this because I wanted to ask Jay Smooth that one day, but he don't like. I wanted to ask him because he's white and being in hip hop, but you don't look black. But you say the N-word. I hate that word, but I don't say it. But you say, have you ever come across somebody that questioned why?
No.
Like,
here's the thing. Black people think that I'm black. Puerto Ricans think that I'm Puerto Rican. Okay. You know, I've never had that problem where somebody asks me if I'm black.
I get mixed when I'm told, like, you look Dominican.
See, we have it, and not only that, but we have a big Spanish community in Reading, so that's why they assume that he's Dominican instead of assuming that he's black.
Right.
But I'm half black, Puerto Rican, and Dominican, but I get mainly Dominican the most. Right. It's like I'm not that. Stop.
Now let me ask you, Jay Smooth, he says the N-word in his...
No.
Okay,
I just wanted to know if... No. I just wanted to know about him being white and being in the hip hop culture because, you know, when Eminem came out, you know, they gave him, you know, I think they being in Baltimore, we don't have but like a couple white rappers. Yeah. And like, I just wonder how, like, I always wonder. No. Well, there's one. Really? There's one. Really? Blizz. My man Blizz. Blizz said it, and my homeboys wanted to whip his ass. Yeah. But Blizz grew up in South Baltimore around all black people. He's just one of those. He's one of those white guys that's.
I understand that, but you also understand that Eminem doesn't say that anymore.
I know.
He doesn't.
I know.
Here's my thing about it. To be able to use that, you need to understand where that comes from. I've had very long talks with my grandfather about not using that. Right. You don't understand, and also my father, but my father used it. Right. Right. And I remember one time there was a time when my stepmother, she was 100% Puerto Rican. Okay. My dad handed the phone over to her. She thought it was my uncle. She didn't know it was my grandfather, and she picked it up. She said, "What's up, my nigga?" And my grandfather said, "You put this phone down right now. You give it back to my son." And my dad and my grandfather had about a 5-hour talk.
I believe it. You see, I personally, I hate
to say you're white.
I hate the word. I grew up with my father saying the word, but his best friend was black. Yeah. He, you know, his best friend, and you know, I called him my uncle. I grew up in a segregated town up until like 1990, 91. Yeah. No black people were allowed to live in the town. Mm-hmm. They made it that way. They would do something so nobody could rent a house, buy a house. They did that. And so PJ and his grandmother and his mother bought a house 2 doors down from us. Like, I come from a little tiny town. Like, there's like less than 400. There was like less than 400 people in our town. Mm-hmm. It's tiny. So, but like outside of town and where my children's father lives, that's where all the black families lived. And then, like, you know, it was just, our town just was really segregated. And now it's not. There's like Hondurans, El Salvadorians. Somebody had redone the apartment house. It's a house that they sectioned off into apartments, and that, you know, like, yeah. But anyway, I heard the word growing up. I hated the word every time I would hear it. This is before I even dated. The first black man I ever dated was my children's father. So I don't like the word. I don't say the word. Even when the music's playing,
you skip right over it.
I just close my mouth. I don't say it. My kids, on the other hand, yeah, they say that shit all the damn time. I'm like, will y'all stop saying that shit? But I can't stop them because that's them.
Here's my thing. I am mixed. All right, my mom is Puerto Rican and Pennsylvania Dutch. My dad's black.
Well, Puerto Rican Dutch.
No.
Wow.
My
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Puerto Rican Dutch, like woo.
Yeah. So that was a big problem on that side.
Oh yeah.
From what I understand, but like I don't really speak to my mom about that, and we don't speak at all. I haven't spoken to my mother in about 7 years. But where I'm going with it is, at the end of the day, when I step out into this world, a cop pulls me over.
Oh, you're black.
I'm black.
That's like both of my children. My daughter gets, because like when they would see my daughter, they were like, is her father Spanish? Is he Hispanic or something? No, he's black as this.
Yeah.
No, my son, they both look like, they both got, well, my son probably a little bit darker than you, but they're both the same complexion. Yeah. But I was just wondering because there's been a couple, people here that in their music would say it, and they were questioned about their ethnicity. Yeah.
Well, when I walk down the street and there's a white lady carrying a purse and it's a little dark outside, she holds a little tighter. When I get pulled over, I get treated a little differently as compared to white people. Right. So ain't nobody gonna tell me I ain't black. Right. There's no, because I in this world I get treated as if I'm black. Right.
See, and my son the same way. My son has been pulled up by Baltimore City police officers a few times, put handcuffs on his hand, and sat on the curb because he fit the description.
Yeah. And I've gotten pulled over one time. All right, quick story. My cousin's about like a 5'4" Puerto Rican. All right. We walking down the street, we carrying laundry. I'm 6'7", okay?
You stand out just a little bit.
Cop pulled up and said, okay, I need you to drop those because you fit the description of a shooting that just happened on the east side. We was on the south side. All right, my first words to him was, my man, you ain't getting no description of a 6'7" Spanish/black guy and a 5'7" Puerto Rican because we the only two motherfuckers that fit that description in this city. Right. And, he had us on the pavement real quick because I said all that. But like I said, I grew up using that word. My parents use that word.
Yeah, I was just wondering because
no one's ever challenged me, and if they do challenge me, please challenge me to my face.
Right. No, I was just wondering because this was one of those questions I like. Because I'm listening to I was listening to music, and I was like, I wonder if he ever got questions about his ethnicity. Because there are people out here that like I say, here in Baltimore, there's a couple of people that, how can I describe them? Conscious. Yeah. They're not like they're in their music, but they don't do music, but they're in the music like media or whatever. And yeah, they asked about I don't say her name because I'm not friends with her any longer. But she was quite they was like, well, instead of going to her and asking her, first of all, they were asking other people. Well, what makes it? Why is she saying that? What? Her father is. Her mother's white. Her father's like Middle Eastern or whatever. But she grew up listening to that, and she looks Spanish. Everybody's like, was she Spanish? Da 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 da. She's like, no. But she got questioned, so that's why I was asking because in this day and age of because I hate this fucking word. Yeah. And my kids say it like they don't say it to me, and I've never called my kids that. And the reason where this comes from is I watched Logic's thing on Rapture, and he's biracial, even though he looks white as me. Yeah. But he said he grew up with his mother calling him that. She was white, and he was like, I can't figure out how my mother is a racist with black children. Yeah. And and I was like I said, I've had some people come at me sideways about the word, and I'm like, I hate the word. Like, you shared a meme with it. And I was like, I shared the meme. I wasn't even looking at the damn word. I was sharing the meme because the damn thing was funny as hell. I mean, so now I'm supposed to censor myself with sharing memes.
I think if anything, it's more of a hood thing. I remember back in the day, J-Lo catching a lot of flack for saying niggas mind your biz, but they don't feel me though. Remember that? Mm-hmm. She caught a lot. She's Puerto Rican. Mm-hmm. Not for nothing. Where I'm from in Reading, all the Puerto Ricans say nigga too.
Right. So that was just something that was like that came to mind because like I want to ask these white artists because for one, whenever I go into a place, whenever I go into a hip hop event, people don't know me, and like I feel more comfortable around black people than I do white people. I mean, that's just me. Like when I'm around a bunch of white people, I start getting a little antsy. And people don't understand. Like she laughing, but people don't understand it. When I say white people scare me most of the time, and they're like, how, Lisa, you're white. How do you? Because I know what they're capable of. Yes. If I know that a tiger is capable of mauling somebody down, I would be nervous around tigers too. You know, so when I walk into a place and everybody's like, "Who is this big white woman in here with a camera?" You know, because first thing they think of, she 5'0".
Yeah,
she coming in taking pictures of motherfuckers to try to serve warrants or something. But then when everybody starts coming up to me, giving me a hug and coming over to me and everything, and then like, okay, all right, she must be okay. Yeah. You know, I just wonder from that aspect of, you know, because who like, have you like who like I don't like I said I don't know what Reading. Like you were trying to explain, like the demographics up there. So I'm sure you have there's white fans.
There's a sprinkle of white people, and you know I have a few white fans. You know, like the other day, all right, for instance, my downstairs neighbor is white, and she has a boyfriend that comes over, and somebody had backed into his car. And the young kid that came, his mom was driving, but the young 15-year-old was like, "Nigga, I didn't do it." And he was like, "I am not a nigger." And he said it like 4 times. So I went out to the porch like, yo, like, I understand you mad. And I understand that the boy keep calling you a nigger. But you rolling that R just a little too hard.
Yeah, there's not an R on the end of that word.
Yeah, man.
There's not an R on the end of that
really,
word.
You know, I look at it like this. If you can say it around black people and you can get away with it, by all means get away with it. But you are eventually going to run into that one black person that smashed the dog shit out of you.
Have you watched Marlon Wayans' Wokish?
No, not yet. I have not watched
Watch it because that's on there about that.
Actually, I probably do.
That's why I asked you if you watched it, because he talks about that and getting the card to be able to say that and the application process and everything else. But you know, and it's just one of those where I don't, like I said, I can't stand the word because for one, there's so much controversy about it, and it's just. I just want everybody to I don't want to say everybody get along, but my thought is this on life and on people. What you do, that's what you do. Yeah. It has no actions in my life.
I think there's boundaries. So you mean to tell me if you have an interviewee here sitting here, because I'm not damn sure not gonna say myself, but if he's raping kids.
No. I'm talking about your sexual orientation, your you know, what you do, like how you live your life. If you out here and if you're out here dealing drugs, really that has no aspect on my life. I believe
everybody has their own boundaries. Right. Like I believe like everybody thinks that same, or thinks that they think that same way. But I think everybody has their own boundaries, because at the end of the day, to somebody else, to the next white person, dealing drugs is completely wrong. Right. Because they're really not educated about why somebody's dealing drugs and the type of things that go on in the urban community. But in the same breath, like I said, me personally, your sexual orientation or your sex life, I ain't cool with you raping kids, bro.
Well, yeah, that nobody's cool with that.
Me personally, I'm not one for being in the middle of someone else's relationship or whatever deal. How you talk to your woman is how you talk to your woman. If she accepts that, she accepts that. But if you put hands on your woman, I have a problem with that. Mm-hmm. Some niggas don't have a problem with that. Right. I have a problem with that, and maybe that's because I grew up with my father and he taught me not to be a fuck nigga. But I have a problem with that. Right. You understand? So I can't. You know, I think everybody has their boundaries and has their limits. Now, you could sit there and say, I think if you just mind your own business and it doesn't affect me, you shouldn't be worried about it. And you, like I said, there's a limit on it. Because at the end of the day, if you go rape a kid, really, at the end of the day, it doesn't affect me, but I will fuck you up for that. You understand? So,
right. Something like that, I understand. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
I understand.
There's just certain things in life that,
Me personally, if you want to lay down with a man, lay down with a man. If you want to be a transsexual, be transsexual. if your identity is, if you want to identify yourself as a black person and you white, by all means go ahead. But the next
We're not
person
going to talk about
might
Rachel.
not.
We're not going to talk about Rachel. We're not going to talk about Rachel. But no, I had my ex-boyfriend. The reason that I came to Baltimore, he had said he had an artist for me to interview.
Yeah.
So I was like, sure, fine. So he gave me her name and everything, and I didn't know, because I didn't know her, that she's transgender. Mm-hmm. She came on my show, and I had the best time. She is the funniest. She's so hilarious. And she's actually a really good artist. Mm. And her name is Amira O. And after she left, everybody was like, that's a man. I was like, I don't care what you say. Like, she, why is it like for me, my big thing, like when Freddie Gray was killed, I didn't talk to, I still haven't talked to my brother and my sister. Because of things that they said on Facebook, and my children seen that, and my children are black. And I told them, did you forget that your niece and nephew they're black? Yeah. No matter what anybody else says, because like you said, when somebody who's Puerto Rican sees you, they see Puerto Rican. Mm-hmm. When somebody's black, they see black. Mm-hmm. My children, white people see them, family, they see white, So, it took me a long time. I didn't talk to my mother for like 2 years. And it's just, I'm going to tell you personally, I don't like confrontation. Yeah. Like, I don't like the drama. I don't like the confrontation. So I'd rather just like, you over there, I'm over here, and we'll keep it just like that. So and like I told you how I grew up. So when I have people that I grew up with, they're saying A, B, and C. I'm like, y'all don't live here. Y'all don't see what it's like here. Oh, they can just get jobs. What jobs they getting? Well, they can do this. They can do that. What? Y'all not here.
I don't expect people from the outside looking in to understand what's going on in here. I'm not going to ask a garbage man for stock advice. So if you live in the suburbs, I don't expect you to comment on what's going on in the hood. Right.
And so that's like, and to kind of like tie it into music, that's why when, like when gangster rap came out, mm-hmm. I didn't know anything about how life was in Compton. Mm-hmm. I didn't know how South Central LA was. I didn't know none of that stuff until Eazy-E and Dr. Dre and MC Ren and Yellow Boy and all of them were telling me what it was like. Yeah. You know what I mean? So when people hear music, and Nas said it on that thing. He was like, hip hop. He said hip hop was about being like real. Mm-hmm. When you hear somebody rapping, that's their life. Nowadays, you really can't say that. Because you got people out here talking, like you said earlier, little Skittles boy saying shit, and you're like, man, get the fuck out of here with your little cardigan ass self. Did you see all that shit the game was doing?
Oh my god!
And you know what? And that's something else that people don't understand. Like, I studied about gangs. Mm-hmm. If they had not executed Tookie Williams, that I think, because he had a powerful voice, mm-hmm. and they killed him just like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King to me, mm-hmm. because he had that powerful voice, and he was trying to get the people to come and have peace and everything else. He was really working on that from that prison cell. I studied the gangs. I studied how they started, what they stood for. I seen the transition when drugs were introduced, and they were going back and forth because they were trying to get the money. Mm. So when the game gets on and says, yo, you false flagging, you're doing this, you're flip-flopping, da-da-da, everybody's like, oh, why is a 40-some-year-old man worried about what this kid is doing? Because he's got that mentality of being in the game.
I'm sick of them calling him a kid. He's 23.
Right.
He's a grown-ass man. He just happened to have rainbow hair. All right? So
I laugh every time I think about that cotton.
You're not. He referred to himself as in the Breakfast Club interview as a grown ass man. Then he referred to himself as a kid a bunch of times after that. And it's like, bro, you can't play both sides. Either you're hard and you want people to test you, or you're not. So stop complaining when someone does test you, whether it's a 40-year-old, whether it's a 30-year-old, whatever it is. Because at the end of the day, I'm going out to the street and get my ass beat by a gang of 17, 18, 19
Right.
You understand? So, I don't know. Like, he gives off that persona that he's hard. And really, I watched the video of 2 dudes jumping him and 5 other dudes. You know what I mean? Like,
was that the LAX?
At the LAX. It was 2 guys and they got handled.
And they was from Houston.
So, you know, if you have that persona, just make sure you're able to back it up. And if you can't, then don't get upset when people tell you that you can't, or you're false flagging or doing whatever the case may be.
Right. And that's like that to me, that goes back to being, that's like, I've seen artists that are underground locally. I really hate saying local artists because that gives them that kind of stereotype, but they're local underground artists. And they have this persona on social media and in their music, but then when you really know them,
it's like,
and you're like, I don't know, and it just and I know and it goes back. I keep going back to Rick Ross because it seemed like it didn't start with Rick Ross, but him being exposed as not being Rick Ross.
He was his persona was trapper of the fucking century. And he wound up being a CEO. Right.
So it kind of like, that was kind of like, that's when it was okay.
To start going
Man,
out.
It's just music. It's just this. It's just that. So once again, it's that balance.
Here's the thing. There is a balance. Here's the thing. Do you believe that Arnold Schwarzenegger busted all them guns?
I don't know.
You see what I'm saying? Because he plays a part in the movie. So
right.
It's like, all right, when you go into the store, you go into Walmart, CDs are right next to the movies, are right next to the books.
Right.
You know, understand? It's all supposed to be entertainment, I guess. But rap itself makes it like, okay, well, you need to be authentic. You understand? And really, you don't have to be. You can do what you want. Go right ahead. But don't be upset when the hood tests you.
Right.
Because we don't respect that shit. And a lot of people in the hood are looking for that opportunity to, you know, test you. So when you have rappers that, like, conscious rappers like Common and J. Cole, they don't get tested because they don't play that persona.
Right.
But then you have motherfuckers like, you know, Tekashi and 50 Cent and shit like that get tested, and either they back it up or they fucking don't. I mean, personally, like I said, it is entertainment.
Right.
I like to play the part of myself. You know,
right.
But I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I bust 1,000,000 guns at once and my gun's so big that shit don't even work. Like, nah, it's not gonna happen. You know what I mean? But if I'm angry that day, then I'm gonna talk about that's gonna show in my music. If I'm sad that day, it's gonna show in my music. You know.
Cause like I've noticed, like I said, a lot of the artists that I've known and I've watched with this music scene, they were really out in those streets, and they were really doing this stuff, and they was really, really, really who they say they were. As they got older, they realized, well, damn, I need to, like, stop fucking with the police, and I need to not be in jail, and I got kids to raise, I got to change my life, and they changed their life. Well, their music kind of changes with them, like we were talking about with Jay-Z, and they basically talk about what they've done, you know, and they're not saying that they're doing it now, or they use metaphors for shit. And to me, I can get with that. Yeah. If I know that you out here and you working your ass off because you got a job and you got 3 kids that you raising and you know, you got real life going on, and I'm listening to your song and you're talking about, you know, doing this and doing that, but I know that you're talking about shit that you have done. You know, there's a lot of guys that are doing that. But like I said, this little, like, these kids saying it and it's cool. Yeah. And I'm just like, I'm so confused because it's like they say you got to be this, you got to do it this. But then when this artist comes out and they're fake as shit, like, I've seen people defend this boy. And I'm like, but you said this, so what did you change?
So good.
Right.
I don't know. Like, me personally,
it's like giving a pass.
We can even get on the. We don't even have to use the gangster persona. Okay, Logic. I didn't watch that thing you're talking about, but I've listened to a couple of his songs. I personally don't like Logic. Not saying the boy can't rap.
Right.
I don't like Logic. Why don't I like? Because to me, he's a cornball. He's not somebody I would like to hang out with.
Right.
You know, so I'm not going to listen to him. Not saying that technically his bars Yeah,
Right.
he can rap. But I don't connect with his music because I feel like he's a cornball. So if that's your persona, or that's what I believe, I'm not going to listen to it. So if your persona is a gangster and I don't believe that you're a gangster, I'm not going to listen to it.
Right? Because like I just listened to this last project, Everybody, and I'm like, okay, I'm listening, and it's not something that I would normally listen to because like I'm a Tech Nine fan.
Yeah.
I'm a Kevin Gates fan. You know, I like ratchet ass songs. Like AMG, Bitch Better Have My Money is like my favorite song of all time. And it's the most degrading song to a woman. But it's like one of my favorite songs. So I'm listening to it, and there's some things that I'm relating to on a personal level, and that's cool. But like you said, and like I had said too, relatability. You really don't relate to him because even though he grew up, how he grew up or whatever, his music, he even says it in this thing. He's trying to, like, because of how he grew up, he's trying to promote peace and positive vibes and everything else. And that's cool. And like I said, his music is cool. Like, he can rap. Yeah. Like, I heard him, the first time I really remember hearing anything from him was on a Tech Nine track. Yeah. But like you said,
I think
he's
not somebody I would. All right,
he would not be in my playlist.
Yeah, like me personally, I have a gang of people that I would love to sit down and smoke a blunt with. Redman, Snoop Dogg, you know. And the reason why for instance, Snoop, I don't think that Snoop is technically one of the greatest rappers. Right. But I think his swag on a track or his style or just the way he makes me feel. Right. Yeah, I'd love to I listen to Snoop all the time. Logic, technically, he's a great rapper. If there was a book about how to write raps, he would be great at it. Right. But I just don't. I personally I just can't relate to it.
Right. You know, Snoop Dogg just did a gospel album.
Yes, I did.
Have you listened to it?
No.
Neither have I.
Yeah. You know. Also, Wendy's restaurant also dropped a mixtape. There's a lot of music out here. There's a lot of music going out here. I didn't listen to that.
So who are you listening to besides yourself? Do you listen to your own music all the time?
Yes. Because I look at it like if I don't listen to my own music, what the fuck?
I'm just saying.
I wouldn't say that I go weeks without listening to my own music. But once I actually like drop a whole project, I will, be riding down the street bumping it and stuff like that. But right now, A$AP Ferg, I rock with his last album, was pretty good. Rap City is pretty good, and then you can go into the obvious, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar's and stuff like that. I like to stick to a lot of local music as well as far as writing goes. Shout out Echo. I think he's probably the dopest rapper ever. If you want to go throwback from Reading, we go to J. Rocky. He's one of the greatest from Reading ever. I definitely like to listen to a lot of different music and there's times when on the way here we listen to 90s R&B bad boy stuff.
See, that's like me. Let me tell you. Let me give you all a little insight. When I'm getting ready to go to a show where I know I'm going to listen to hip hop all night long, I don't listen to hip hop on my way to the show. Now I had to Thursday night because I was riding with my friend, and I was listening to his son, and that was cool because I'd never heard any. I never really listened to Jay's songs or whatever. And, I've seen him perform. I was at his very first performance. I took pictures of him at his very first performance, and he's grown so much. But when I'm going to a show, I gotta listen to something else because I know I'm getting ready to get bombarded with hip hop, and sometimes I'm not real sure if the hip hop's going to be good.
Well, for instance, on the way here, we didn't listen to any of my music because I knew I was going to listen to it here. It really didn't make sense to, but we was in a okay, let's cheer some people up in this car ride. So we put on some 90s bad boy Faith Evans, stuff like that. He fell asleep. He falls asleep a lot.
You was happy.
But, so we try to keep it real, I try to change it up. I am a hip hop head, but I will go from different years. There's days when I listen to Public Enemy. Terminator X, Rock the Boat, you know, all that stuff. Like I love all types of different hip hop. There's times when I'll listen to Nelly, and I'm talking old school country grammar Nelly. I'm
gonna tell you what. Like I said, 90s and early 2000s is my favorite. Like I will go and I think it's because it does give you that oh, you remember back then, or like I remember what song was it? It was a Prince song. Me and my homegirl, we used to go to this club called Club 404 over on the Eastern Shore. And they would play Get Off and Pussy Control. So every time I think about those songs, I hear those songs, I go back to that club, and you know, music will take you back. Music will bring you memories, and I have a bad memory. I can't remember shit most of the time. I'm too old for this. Like I got to
bring that memory back.
A song, I'll be like, ooh, I remember. And then my daughter be like, what? Nah, that was before you was born. That was way before you was born. You don't need to know that. But you know, like I said, music is life. Music is it's therapy. It helps not only you, it helps the person next to you. And I could hear this. Okay, I can listen to Pull Up, and I'll get a vibe from it. He can listen to Pull Up, and he might get a whole totally different vibe. And that's the best thing about it, you know. And I don't argue. Like I don't argue music. Like if somebody says, "Oh, like I said, Jay-Z's album sucked," and I was like, I see it from a distant. I see it from a different aspect of the.
What album was it when Jay-Z dropped that one? I think there was a comparison between him and me, and there was a battle between whose album was better than whose. And to me personally, I thought both their albums did wonderful.
But see, and because for one, like I said, when they were talking about Eminem's album, I don't even watch. What the hell is that damn show that Buttons did when he's not?
Everyday Struggle.
Yeah, I never really watched that shit.
Yeah.
But I watched it for some reason. I watched that episode where Academics was talking to DJ Wu Kid.
Woo Kid.
And he was like, I know that's, you know, that's your man and everything. And he was like, I'm just saying, he said, I know where he was coming from when he made this. I know his mindset. So I think it was a brilliant, like he did it brilliantly and da-da-da-da-da. And Academics was just going in on it. And I was like, shut the fuck up. Yeah. That's how you feel. Yeah. You know, that's my thing. Like, how I feel about a song, like I've had people like try to argue. I'm not arguing. I don't talk about politics. I don't talk about religion. I'm not going to argue about fucking music, because what I like is what I like, and what you like is what you like. We can have a discussion. I'm not here to change your mind.
Yeah, and you shouldn't try to change mine.
And don't try to change mine. If I say I listened to Jay-Z's album and I see what he did, I might not have liked some of the stuff, but I seen where he was going with that. And it was brilliant to me that he took that route, because he could have easily tried to fit in with today's music, and he didn't. That's being true to himself. And that's why I tell artists such as yourself, be true to you. Like you said earlier, yeah, I've done some dumbed down songs because of, you know, the fans. Because my thing is, if you do a dumbed down song and somebody hears it that's not already a fan of yours, they're like, oh shit, and they like that song. And when they hear your other stuff, guess what? Man, I like that shit too. You know what I mean? So sometimes you have to go that route, but
I look at it like this. You know, Biggie didn't like Juicy. When Biggie recorded Juicy, he didn't like it at all. There's a lot of times when I make a song and, you know, writing and I felt okay about it, but then once I recorded and listened to it, I didn't like it, but then my fucking homies that loved the shit out of it. Yeah, that's happened to me plenty of times. So, you know, it happens, and really I try to hit a target, and hopefully I hit it, and if I don't, then... Right. There's an artist, his name's Taz Spitter. He has a song called Right Now. Everybody loves that song, and
I hate this fucking song. I don't ever want to do it again. And he has to, because people love that song. And that's usually how it goes. It's usually a song that you be like, ugh, this song sucks.
And everybody fucking loves it.
Right. You know, I mean, so what are you going to do? You have to suck it up because your fans like it.
Yeah.
You know, so they're going to come out. If they come out and see you, are you doing this song tonight? You be like, oh, man, do I have to? But that's what your fans want. And see, and like I said, you know, be true to yourself. And I think that's what you do, because, like, you know, just talking to you, not having any prior knowledge to anything about you. And that's one thing I do get from you, is that you stay true to who you are and what you want to do. So what is your ultimate goal? I mean, because I know you said something about when we were talking earlier about, you know, people talking about getting signed or whatever.
Yeah.
But what is your ultimate goal in this
I think
music?
My ultimate goal would be to be able to not have to work and do what I love as my main source of income. And I'm not saying I want to be rich and fucking famous, but I would love to be able to. I would not, you know, I would just like to be able to make music all day long, because I love doing that, and I would love to be able to do that. So if I can get to a point where I'm making music all day long, or, you know, anything that's involved music, helping other artists, producing, whatever it is, if I can do that all day long, I'd be happy. I would enjoy my life. I'm not saying that I have to be rich and famous, you know, because honestly, fame does a lot of evil things to a lot of good people.
Right.
But I would definitely love to be able to do this all day long. We just had a whole conversation, really not about much. We just had a whole conversation, and just because I'm an artist who listens to me, and that's what I love about it.
No. I mean, and that's like, I've had conversations with people, and I ask that question, and I'm always amazed at some of the answers that I get. I asked that question to an artist. I don't know how old TikTok is. He's 20 something. And when he looked at me and he said, I don't want to rap forever. He said, maybe another 5 years or so. He said, I want to sit back and take the knowledge that I've gained about this, he said, and help other artists and push them and get them to, you know, he said, that's what I want to do. He said, I want to, like, almost like have my own company to help other artists. And I just looked at him, I was amazed, because knowing talk like I do, I would have never expected that to come out of his mouth. I was really, like, amazed at some of the answers that I get from artists. You know, some artists, they were like, you know, they want to be the big star. They want to be out there touring. They want to, and I understand that. You know, I want whatever everybody wants for themselves, I want that for them. You know, no matter what your dream is, me personally, I want everybody to achieve what they want to do in life. I'm 47 years old. I have no clue what I want to do in life. I'm just trying to survive to the next damn day. You know, this show, I do this show because I like music. I like putting the spotlight on artists business owners, producers, whoever, who don't have a chance to do stuff like this. This is my everyday struggle. This is, you know, the Breakfast Club. You know, this is on a little bit of a lower plateau, but that's what this is to me. I don't know about anybody else, and I'm happy doing this, and I'm happy meeting other people and talking to them and seeing how they think about things, what they want to talk about, their music, their dreams. You know, talk about you know, I never know what to talk about with certain people, especially people like people that I know. Because I've known them for so long. So I'm asking questions and be like, I already know the damn answer to this shit. Like, we've known each other since fucking 2008 and shit. Like, I know your child was there before your child was born. I know your baby mother. Like, I was there when y'all broke up. You know, so talking to newer faces and getting to vibe with them and see where, you know, people's heads are. And it's amazing. Like I said, it's amazing that people are different, but they're the same.
Yeah. Me and you have a lot of the same views, and we never met, never even had a conversation before. Right.
So, you know, like, being able to vibe with people is my achievement for today. Yeah. Tomorrow, getting up out of bed is going to be my achievement. I got to take my daughter to work from 1 to 10 o'clock, you know, and, you know, my grandson, who's 3, getting ready to be 4, and He's gonna pluck my damn nerves. Well, now because his father will be there. He usually don't come downstairs too much if his father's there. But if his father's going to work, then he's in my room, jumping on my bed. Get off my bed, Kaden. I want to jump on the bed, my mom. No, get that. That's my achievement. Just getting through to the next day. So I mean, I have every ounce of faith that everything that you want to do in your life is going to be that way.
I appreciate it.
I do have one achievement that I do like, and I put this out here. I put this out there on Instagram, on Killer Mike's post. I love Killer Mike. Killer Mike.
He's another one. He's another one who can rap and make you just pay attention.
Right. David Banner, David Banner, when he made that move to be more of a activist and and conscious about what's going on in this world. Those two right there, like Killer Mike said he wanted everybody to go to a black-owned bank and open up an account. And I went and I have an account at a black-owned bank.
Really?
Yes. I do. And, David Banner, Godbox. If you haven't listened to it, listen to it. Before the Godbox is good too. But Godbox, he just did a video for Magnolia. And the song was already powerful, but those visuals are even more powerful. And I had people ask me, so what do you think about the Godbox? I was like, what do you mean? I think it's marvelous. It's wonderful. Well, I mean, you being white and all. I'm like, I agree with everything he fucking said on the whole album. Like, he's talking about inequality, injustice. He's talking about slavery. He's talking about everything in this world that happened and is happening. And I agree with him.
Whether you white or black,
I'm sorry. I didn't know I was supposed to feel some other kind of way. But my one achievement that I really do, I would love for this to happen. And I put it on Killer Mike's post because Killer Mike was in a picture with Travis O'Gwen, who is the CEO of Strange Music. And I said, I would love to intern at Strange Music. That would be one of my, I just want to go and learn from this man. I sat and watched a 2-hour interview with him because him and Tech have built something from the ground up. Yeah. They now have not just hip hop, they have rock bands, they have pop acts because Mackenzie Nicole is his daughter and she's a pop artist. She's phenomenal. They have different branches under Strange Music. So they built this up over the years. Tech doesn't get the recognition that he should. He had to cross over to black people and talked about it in a song with T-Pain. So I just want to go and I want to learn from this man and be able to take that knowledge and be able to help somebody build something or build it myself. One of the two. That would be my achievement. That's what I would want to do. But right now, I'm just trying to make it to the next day.
I hear that.
I wake up and be like, okay, I'm here. Let's get, and like I said, that's why, as an artist, I used to have artists be like, I want to get signed. No, you don't. You're better off getting a distribution deal. That's your best bet, to be able to get a distribution deal.
I'm starting to see more artists independently and more successful than other artists that are actually signed to a label.
And also merchandise. That's where you're going to make your money. Merchandise. You're not going to make much money off of streams because they found a way to screw your artists. They used to do it when they had CDs and all. Yeah. They screwed the artists because you're only going to get 5 cents on each CD if you're lucky. Yeah. So now they really don't sell CDs much anymore because everybody. I listen to music on my phone.
Yeah.
So everything's streaming. Stream. They only get a few cents on the streams. So merchandise is what you have to look forward to as far as making money and touring.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I have no doubt. I have high hopes and high faith in you.
I appreciate it.
You know, like I said, I've never been disappointed with any artist that Jason has brought through here. And like I said, it amazes me that there's so much talent in this world, and it's untapped.
Yeah.
You know? So hopefully next time we talk, you know, you'll have like, yep, got my project out. I done had such many views on my YouTube videos.
Well, I'm gonna make sure that you get the project, you know, in your hands as soon as it comes out.
I just inboxed you the flyer for April 21st to
All right.
the Rock Boy page.
Baltimore Paparazzi Facebook page. That's where I tell everybody if you want to share videos and stuff, put it on there.
Okay.
That way, because like if it goes to my Facebook, I won't. Yeah. I probably won't. Glad to see you guys made it. My bad. Okay, not being able to get there, Jason.
Oh man, I just hope he's good.
Yeah.
So he's all right.
Right. Yeah, Jason's he got a good heart. He got a real good heart. He crazy. I was like, you keep hitting me at like 1, 2 o'clock in the fucking morning. He's like, my bad. I'll be up that night because I'll be working. I was like, I will look at the message and be like, I am not opening this up right now.
I have to say to him sometimes too. I'm like, damn, Jason, why are you up so early?
Be like, I will watch this. I will look at this tomorrow.
But then when I don't got nothing else to do, I'll be like, man, fuck it, I'm just
right. Because if I'm trying to go to sleep, I'm like, I'll be like, my phone will go off. I'll be happy because I'll be thinking it is somebody else, and I'll be like, Jason, go to sleep. That's right. I think you're working.
Now, do you post like some of the shows on Paparazzi? If they got like open slots or anything? Like, if he wanted to come down and perform, how would we be able to get in contact with somebody down here?
Oh, to a show?
Yeah.
Like I said, only person that I know right now is Billy Live, Wisdom Court Entertainment. Is the only one that I know that's throwing shows, and I don't know. I have to get in touch with him about any shows that he's got going on.
Okay.
That would be I don't even know what show he's got. Like I say, he just did Auto Bar, and my ex, it was his birthday and his best friend and his brother's birthday. And they performed, but I guess I'm so out of the loop about who's throwing shows now. And I have a thing with like, I don't know how they do the whole tickets or money or whatever, because I really personally don't like people who have to pay for a slot. Pay me $50 and you get to perform. I don't like that. Like, perform for who? Because if I pay you $50 for me to perform, and 9 other people do too, and we're not required to bring anybody with us, I'll be performing for 9 other artists and maybe a couple people. So if I have a large entourage, then yeah, that's why I always sold tickets. I always had people sell tickets, and then I split the money 50-50 because I feel as though you're doing.
Well, that's what I did. Like, that's what I got going on now. They pay for the slot, and then I give them tickets, and then I tell them whatever you make, you keep. You don't
right.
You don't
see, and that's what Hugger did. Hugger would go. They done left the damn back of the fucking bus open. The hell? Yo, wait till y'all see this shit. That's where the engine is.
Oh wow.
I'm confused. But yeah, Hugger would it was $100 and you got 50 tickets.
Yeah.
So you can make $500 if you sold all your tickets.
That's a fact.
At $10 a pop. But most of them didn't do that.
Yeah, because I got some artists that do the same thing to me. They were like, who's going to be there? I'm like, well, I got some Rock Boys, and then I got 4 other stations that's coming there to do interviews with anybody that gets off the stage.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm giving y'all a reason. You know what I mean?
It does it seem like they just don't want it, or they just
lazy? Yeah, and then on top of that, but this is the whole thing. There's another person that does shows down there too. But the whole thing is, like, the way he explains it is weird as hell. Like, he hits you with the, well, I'll give you $100. You give me $100, and then you sell these tickets, but then you gotta give me another $100 back.
Oh, hell no.
I'm like, wait a minute, hold up.
He's making $200 of one person.
Basically.
And if you got 10, See, I would leave my shows and wouldn't have any money in my pocket, because guess what? I had to pay my door person. I had to pay my production person, which is my daughter, because what she would do is, if he's up on stage next, then she would go and find him and be like, come on, you're next. Stand right here. That way, nobody's looking for anybody. I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate that. So I had to pay. I paid my daughter. I paid my host. I paid my DJ. And it got to the point where I didn't have to pay the club anymore, because he was making money. He was making money at that bar because he had drinks and he had food. Man, I miss those wings and fries. So he got to the point where he's like, Lisa, I don't want no money. He said, you keep the money. So I didn't have to pay him anymore, but I still had to pay. I paid my DJ $150 every month.
And see, that's right now. That's the issue right now in Reddit. Right now, there's not a place where artists can go and just do open mic night.
See, yeah.
And that's,
see, we have open mic. We have an open mic here on Tuesday nights. It's called Love and Hip Hop. I don't even know where the venue is anymore because he's unchanged it again. But it's in a nice. I think it's in a nice place. Is it at the Cultural Center? I don't know. I'll find out the information if you if y'all want to like slide down there on a Tuesday night. My friend Queen Fiend, she's always there. I haven't been to the new spot. I used to go when it was down here on 25th at St. Mary's Restaurant, the Jamaican spot. I used to go down there. Went down there and they embarrassed the shit out of me. Cause like I'm just there. Like there's a lot of people that didn't know who I was, and my brother got on stage, and my brother was like, "Before I start, do y'all know who the Baltimore Paparazzi is?" I was like, Pex. I'm like, I'm gonna kill you. I was like, I just wanted to come here and take some pictures. I just did not want anybody. And it's like the scene like when you walk into a bar and like everybody turns and looks at you, and then it was like everybody turned and looked at me. I was like,
and especially when they announce you, it's like, I'm like, damn. Especially when I walk into certain bars down there, it's like, oh, Czar's in the house. I'm like,
it's like, damn it, I was just now I'm gonna get caught up in some shit now, damn it.
Then you get in conversations that you don't want to be with.
Yes.
I'm like,
but I'll try to get you that information. And if I find out anybody else who's doing shows or whatever.
Do you respond more to your paparazzi page or your IG page?
Either or.
Okay.
Either or. Everything comes to my fucking phone. So, yeah, so, a good time. I know y'all getting tired. You're like, I gotta take this ride back.
Not even that. I need a cigarette.
Oh, we could have smoked the ashtray right there.
What?
Yeah.
Yo, somebody give me that ashtray.
And you say, please.
Please, thank you.
Yeah.
You still recording?
Yeah.
No,
yeah, but I'm getting ready to shut down now because that way we can yeah. So yeah, let them know where they can find.
You can find all my music on SoundCloud.com, YB on the Cloud. You can find my Instagram, Instagram.com, YB on the Gram. You can find my Snapchat, YB on the Snap. Everything is YB on the Gram, YB on the Snap, YB on the book, everything. YB on everything. What
about you? You want to give you plug yourself?
Oh man, they can find me on Czar Rodriguez on Facebook, Czar Entertainment on Instagram, Czar Entertainment on the tweets. You can hit me up on either one of them. I answer everything without a shadow of a doubt. Like, I don't ignore my messages.
Right.
Unless it's somebody I really don't want to answer.
Right.
And I'll just wait like 2 or 3 days to answer.
Well, you be busy too. You know what I'm saying? You be
that
busy.
too, but I like to answer everybody when I get a chance.
All right. So I thank you guys for coming down here, sitting down here, talking with me, and dealing with my little craziness.
No, I appreciate you, and thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Right, and like I said, I'm this is what I'm here for. I swear to God, this is my calling. This is my calling. So I will be back next Saturday. Hold up. What's next Saturday? That's April, ain't it?
Yeah.
Holy shit, we into April already? Who I got next week? Oh, Lyricism. This is my man, Lyricism. Of course, you look at his name, it looks like it says Little Ricksism. Yeah, that's how it looks like when you look at it. But he did my show when I was throwing my shows. My requirement was 15 tickets. He sold 28.
Wow.
He ended up doing a show at Ram's Head because he did my show and sold 28 tickets at my show. So he got to be on stage at Ram's Head, which is kind of hard to do. So he's actually, I think he's dropping some music, or he has dropped some music. And I told him, need to get him on. He's like, when? I said,
well, I definitely want to come back here and bring you free YB personally. So hopefully in a couple months we'll
there you go. Just let Jason know and let me know something, whatever. My dates book up.
I see.
My dates book up.
So
I have
booked all the way to June.
Lyricism, Queen Fiend, Kid. Knox Carter's going to be here on the 28th.
Shout out Knox Carter.
My man Lidwood's going to be on the 5th. G Hood's back on the 12th. I can't remember if somebody's booked on the 19th or not. 26th is Pyrex, Blizz, and Bags from up there.
Oh, shit.
And June 2nd, my man, my brother Jay Bruno told me he wanted that day. So.
Well, listen, when Free YB comes, definitely going to make sure that we get me in that calendar.
So yeah, so I keep it moving, like yeah. So actually I'm gonna play my man Spence. This is the man I told you, Turn Up King.
Yeah.
This is my song. I love this song. It's called Fuck You Mean. And I was in the video, but you can't see me.
Were you acting ratchet in the video?
I was hiding behind the DJ who's like 6 foot. I don't know what.
Ratchet behind
No, I was hiding. They was like, Miss Lisa, you gotta be in the video. No, I don't. Yes, you do. I said, all right, I'll be in the video, and I hide behind her the whole time. Can't even see me. So I thank everybody for tuning in on the Hard Body Radio Facebook Live, YouTube channel. Somebody's tuned in. Might be still Brian, hopefully. Yeah, everybody tuned in the radio station. I appreciate y'all. And I will see you all next Saturday, God willing, and the creek don't rise. So, yeah, Spence, Fuck You Mean. Yeah, this is my song. I love this song. Yeah, everybody. I gotta pee.
You're going to get some big too, right?
Oh.